right, guys. It's another week. It's another time to share some helpful holiday advice. And today, I should say this week, for Tales from the Head, we are going to dive into what helps us with anxiety. Every year we have anxiety. Every day we have anxiety. But
Yep.
2020 has been quite the buffet of dog shit for us all to just stuff in our mouths. I mean, God knows I love the flavor of dog shit, and especially when it's sprinkled with a little pandemia. But before we dive into the subject this week, we got to do our little update. We're not animals. We're not
Yeah.
getting paid to just talk to each other. We care. We're friends. We have relationships.
We do.
Speaking of that, how was your week?
You know, a week was it's pretty good. It went by super fast actually. I can't believe tomorrow's Friday already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean God knows when you hear this, but tomorrow when we recorded this tomorrow was Friday or will be Friday.
Yeah.
It's been pretty good. We're wrapping up the semester at school, so it's just finals and stuff like that. And today was cool. We pretty much since tomorrow we're only gonna be working on grades. Today was our holiday, quote unquote, holiday Zoom party. So
Nice.
that was interesting. That was very interesting. And yeah, I think I took it too far with a joke during
Oh,
that Zoom party.
oh God. Here we go.
So first off, um they had food delivered to us. They had Zoom. They had
Zoom
literally door
food.
dashed us. Yeah, they door dashed us, and my food took a little bit longer than expected. So it started. So I started drinking first. I drank this IPA, and
Yep.
then once the actual holiday party started, some lady, like one of my coworkers was showing us how to do like a really cool drink, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to get some whiskey. So after
Yeah.
counting some of those, we get into some staff competition because that's what we do,
Uh huh.
a scavenger hunt. And of course, the whole everybody in the school is super competitive. Like we're all competitive. We don't like to lose. Our team, we got everything first, so we're saying it.
Right.
So first off, the I was really hyped up because they're like, oh, one of the requirements was have a Christmas DVD, and it had to be an actual DVD.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this was my holiday DVD. It was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's not Christmas. I'm like, dude, there's a whole
I was
scene
gonna
when
say,
they're
isn't
like
there a
eating.
Christmas part in it?
Yeah, there's like a Christmas party and there's snow. And they're like, yeah, this doesn't count. I'm like, you know what? First off, I'm like, any movie can be a Christmas movie if you have the spirit. And if you don't have the Christmas spirit in you, that suggests you leave this holiday Christmas party right now because you're bringing this down.
Wait,
So,
they took you serious?
no, like they knew I was being
Yeah.
sarcastic, but they're like, all right, no, he has a point. No, he's right. No, Daniel's right.
Yeah.
Bennecor's right. So, that was that. So our team won. And then our principal was like, well, okay, let me write down your guys' name because I'm gonna send out, gift cards or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
so of course everybody's like, oh, I won, blah blah blah. And then they're like, oh, why are you splitting up the family? Why are you splitting the family? I thought we were all family. We should all get one. And I'm pretty much I went up to the microphone like, yeah, so and so, my principal. I'm like, I didn't know you work with ICE trying to split up the family. And everybody was like, "Oh, that's too dark. Oh,
Really?
yeah." And
You're
I'm
like,
like,
that's too dark. Have you seen these kids? See, when
"Woo!"
you said you told a dark joke, my heart grew three sizes because
Yeah,
you know how corrupt and sinful I am. So when I heard my little
yeah,
sweet boy Danny over here delving in the dark arts, I got a
yeah.
little excited.
No, the thing is like no one really knows. I'm just barely opening up at work with my
Yeah,
my
yeah.
humor and
Getting a
stuff
little
like that.
You're comfy. Yeah.
Yeah, because last year when I started, like even this year, before the whole shutdown happened once again,
Mm-hmm.
for the holidays, like we would do like social distancing hangouts and stuff, and they're like, dude, you look so much happier. You look so much. It's like, dude, you're so open. Like you used to be. I'm like, yeah, I was hella quiet. I was going through my own shit last year.
Yeah.
So like I was miserable. When you saw me at work, it's because I was miserable, not because of my job. It was because of my like
Yeah. Personal
personal issues
life.
going on,
Hmm.
which I would, of course, I didn't want to like open up and talk about. Um, but now they're like they're seeing peaks of me and they're seeing like my jokes and stuff. And people who know me or like hanging out with me before, they're like, oh, that's just Daniel being Daniel with his like dark humor.
You know what
Um,
though? It's accurate and it's topical.
yeah,
So I mean, I don't know. I don't
yeah,
see. I thought you were gonna go. That's still more respectful than I thought it was gonna be. But it was crass and it was crude for you, and it was still in the realm of that. So you're
hmm,
right. But like, man, I was like, dude, that's, and you know what? I got to give you some props though. Like, even though, um, it wasn't like a super vulgar joke, because you don't need
yeah,
to have
yeah,
a. It doesn't need to be vulgar to be funny. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
vulgarity's fun, but you did have balls going to your boss. I mean, dude, you know what? I got. I mean, I crack jokes with my boss, but I work for a
Yeah,
dispensary. I work for a delivery company.
yeah.
So
No,
you work for a school. So
I
to
work for
fucking
school.
go to the principal and just be like, yeah,
Yeah,
what
you
do you
work for Ice.
ice?
Yeah, you work for Ice, bro, because you try and split up this family, and I
Wait,
don't
can I
know.
ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Is he non-Hispanic?
Yes.
Oh, that makes it even better. You don't even need to disclose what it is. You just need to basically tell me that, and I can basically put it all together. And that's,
Yeah,
I wanted to ask that way, so no one could be
yeah,
like, "You're not targeting any groups." Nope.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm
Nope.
reading in between the lines.
So it was just funny. I thought it was funny. I mean, I didn't take no offense. If anything, it's like I don't
No,
know. I see my. It's like what? It's comedian joke. The Bill Burr will talk about it, and it's
dude,
not like
yeah. And I mean,
uh,
what some comedians would say, and that joke doesn't fall in that category, but like sometimes guys that aren't comedians will take risks, and
yeah,
comedians will be like, "Yo, dude," and I'm not saying this applies to you, but like they'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
like, "Yeah, I've been in the business 20 years. That's why it works for me."
Mm-hmm.
But that's a good joke because it's a dumb person doesn't make a joke like that because you're
Yeah,
caught up with what's going on and you know what's happening.
it's a social conscious comment.
It is,
That
and it's
joke.
not meant to necessarily strike a laugh. It's meant to more or less prove a point, which is what you were doing.
Yeah, and I'm not calling. Obviously, I'm not making fun of my boss on this one. I'm making fun of Ice for splitting up families.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
see that's what comedy. Excuse me.
yeah,
I don't know if that belch is going to come through when we do this later,
yeah,
but um, comedy, that's the main thing about comedy that most people get now, but a lot of people haven't understood in the last few decades is comedy is really, really, it knows no boundaries for a simple reason, and that's because it is meant to mock everything.
yeah,
I don't know if we've covered this before, but medieval times, the jesters were the only ones. I think we were. The jesters were
yeah,
the
yeah.
only ones allowed to make fun of the royalty, the
The
monarchy.
monarch. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, anyone else probably get their head chopped off. So,
Mm.
I mean, you give this fucking guy that wears bells and douchey little things and laugh at him, but he's the only one that can make fun of the fucking king. That is so fucking dope.
Yeah,
Like, you can throw tomatoes at that guy, you could talk shit, but at the end of the day, he goes to sleep knowing full well he was honest and he said whatever the hell he wanted, and he basically got paid to do it.
and he ripped. Yeah, he gets paid to rip on the king
And
when
and,
nobody else
and gets to
or the
keep his
queen.
head.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the birth of comedy right there. That's the birth
Yeah.
of the entertainer slash comedian in a way, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not the
Yeah. Yeah.
storyteller type. He probably
Yeah.
wasn't out there like, "Hey guys, what's up with these powdered wigs? Doesn't that
Every
shit
time
itch?"
every time I think of like comedians with stand up and like, hey, when they start, I always think of like
Oh,
Seinfeld or
Jerry
something.
Seinfeld. When he's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I just was telling." You see, when I do it, I sound like the fucking. I sound like Charlie in the Box from fucking Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's be like the hardest part of like stand up comedy. Like, how do you start? It's just like, what is the deal with these pants? Oh,
Yeah,
have you ever
but
noticed these pants are too tight?
Well, and see, that's totally Jerry Seinfeld shtick, but I don't even know if that really works for him.
Yeah.
Um, no, it probably does, but no, but that's totally like that hacky style
Mm-hmm.
that is now funny because it's ironic, not because it's necessarily directly hilarious, like it might have been in
Yeah.
the '80s.
Yeah.
But comedy's great, man. And that's kind of this totally segues into our theme for me too,
Yeah.
which is like we said, what is helping us through our anxiety, our depression, whatever's getting us down this year, or just in general, because me and Danny were dealing with stuff the year before this pandemic, and we were already in a rut. So
Yeah. We were
you
already
know,
down.
you
Yeah.
can't you can only beat a horse so much, but
Yeah.
we we were already kind of in a low point before 2020. Um, I guess you could say we're a little calloused, but it's still very new. I think everyone's still in this boat of uncertainty and confusion, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the anxiety. What do I do to help? What do I do that helps me with anxiety? Mostly, I mean, I self reflect a lot anyway, but the only way for me to unbiasedly self reflect is to smoke. And yes, of course, I like getting high. I like the feeling of being high. It makes me feel good. It's like when you're buzzed, you like the feeling.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm much more even tempered and fair. Like, if I drink, I'm not going to be like that. Like, if I'm upset about something that I drink, I'm gonna get like it's like I have it's like I got Rocky's freaking trainer in my ear. He's just like,
Like
yeah, that's
getting
fucked up. Yeah,
Mickey.
yeah. Mickey's just like, get in there, Rock, fuck them up. They meant what they said. Like
Yeah.
he's in your ear, getting you all pumped and shit. And that's what
Yeah.
alcohol is for me. Like I love it. Like there's a reason for it. And I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not gonna do this whole weed versus booze shit. Not even worth it. But for me, the drinking helps me amplify what I'm going through. The weed helps me understand what I'm going through. Because what'll happen is, like for instance, one time, me and Steph got in an argument. I went outside. I was super mad. Like I was thinking, when I'm angry, I'm like so mad. I'm like, fuck. Like this is the reason why this is fucked up. Why did that person do that? This is bullshit. And then after about like 10 minutes of smoking and just listening to music, I'll kind of start doing this whole like empathy thing, or like transplant myself into their shoes thing. And it's not like I consciously am like, I'm high now, I'm gonna go through this. No, like it just hits me, and then I kind of am like self realizing, oh hey, some of this was you amplifying this in your mind, and some of it wasn't. But either way, what it does is it helps me understand my helps me understand who I am in my relationships, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
with Steph, whether it's with my kids. Gives me a little more patience. I'm not as like ill. I feel like I'm a little off balanced, and certain things can piss me off a little easier. I have a little more patience when I'm a little stoned.
Yeah.
And even Steph notices. She's like, yeah, with certain things, she's like, you just need to smoke before you do that because your anxiety, you get all worked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an article because it's fun to read articles. I'm just going to kind of go over it because it makes me laugh. So, the benefits of smoking marijuana. This is from healthline.com. So, I'm sure it's going to be super generic, and that's kind of why I wanted
Yeah.
to read it. Benefits: marijuana can be used as a tool for pain management. Yeah. Or you could just get stoned. Um, Medical marijuana may relieve symptoms of anxiety. That's true. We were just talking
Yeah.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's also recognized as a potential treatment for nausea, vomiting related to chemotherapy. So that's a good thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's good.
you don't need to be going through chemotherapy to get that remedy because sometimes, sometimes you get a little morning, you get a little sickness in the morning, you get a little bellyache, and
Yeah.
most people are like, "Oh, don't you get the munchies when you smoke?" Yeah, but it also doesn't make my stomach feel empty, or it like kind of
Mm-hmm.
helps with the nausea. The
Yeah.
risks and warnings are kind of the thing I wanted to jump into. So side effects may vary depending on the method of consumption. Like, dude, who's boofing weed? Like, what is it? Method of consumption?
Yeah.
Like,
Who's
I think
who's
it's smoking, probably.
who's cooking it up in
Yeah.
a spoon and injecting it?
Put it in my napkin and shove it in my ass. That's how we do it.
Just like Papa told me.
Yeah, Pappy. Views are mixed on whether marijuana can lead to depression or treat depression. Now, the people that say it leads to depression, I don't get that because, as we know, Danny, with this podcast, depression doesn't just magically appear out of nowhere.
No,
So
it leads up and it never goes away.
right. So that's kind of this whole like, I'm like, no, you might not want to blame this for your depression. But that's fine. Marijuana use may trigger schizophrenia or psychosis in people at higher risk of these conditions. Yeah, so okay. So basically, if you already have psychosis, you'll have more of it.
So basically, that person got the information from Reefer Madness, that movie from like
dude,
1940s
exactly. This is
or,
for the
or
fucking
30s or something.
But this article is from May 31st, 2016.
Yeah, okay. So obviously they saw, oh look, there's a movie about.
But either way, it's like that's such a shitty, dumb. And I pulled this article up without barely reading much. I just kind of wanted to use it as a reference because everyone knows the benefits of weed. I'm not here to give a soapbox story on that. I'm just telling you what works for me. I do the weed and mostly stand-up comedy. Kind of like what you were saying earlier about your joke and how, it pushed, it was kind of edgy. It kind of definitely set the tone a little and people kind of were definitely, see, the thing I like about doing that is you tested the water.
Yeah.
And you didn't upset anyone, but you definitely got a reaction. And dude, that's what comedy is too. It's like sometimes you're not always going to get a laugh. Sometimes you can get an ooh. Mm-hmm. But it's not a boo.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's thought-provoking. See, basically, not only were you making a joke, but you kind of put an idea in someone's head. It might have already been there, but still, thought-provoking. But stand-up comedians right now, I'm not going to go deep into this, but the main thing with comedy is it's usually based on someone's misery. Even happy comedians, like there's a dark, deep closet of shit they're dealing with. I mean, Robin Williams is one of the most depressed people in the world. I think every comedian battles with depression or has a lot of insecurities.
Pryor, I'm pretty sure has.
Well, but Pryor.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle.
I think all great ones do.
Yeah.
It's pretty much been a common thread I've been noticing too, just with following guys and the ones I like. And dude, all of them. I mean, they either had a hard life growing up or they're just still kind of just dealing with it. And it's good to know even your heroes, they're human. Yeah. And I'm going to list off a few of my top guys right now that I'm just loving. Tim Dillon right now, amazing comedian. He's blowing up right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, comedy is already doing really well because whenever times are bad, there's so much subject matter to use. So comedy is at an all-time high, which is good because we need this. So Tim Dillon, you got the History Hyenas, which is another great podcast with Chris DiStefano and Giannis Papas, two great, hilarious comedians from New York. I got a lot of New York comedians. Actually, this whole list is New York comedians.
New York,
minus Joey Diaz. Tim Dillon lives in L.A., originally New York comedian. History Hyenas, both New York comedians. I love the Legion of Skanks podcast. That's Big J. Okerson, Louis J. Gomez, and come on, man. How are you forgetting the other dude? I feel like an ass. Really good podcast.
But he's really good, though.
He's really good. So good I forgot his name. Legion of Skanks. Then you got Joey Coco Diaz. Always good. Mm-hmm. I just got my Mind of Joey Diaz shirt in the mail today because I've been on his Patreon since August. And I've been like, he's been talking about getting this merch out. And I'm like, fuck yeah. And I I saw people online. They're like, yeah, all this stuff came in. So I was like, I don't want to look at what it is. And then I got it in the mail, and I was super stoked. So I got my long sleeve Joey shirt. And then Andrew Schultz, man, last but definitely not least. He is killing it right now, and he is amazing. He's actually dropping a new special, Schultz Saves America. Pandemics, Predators, Protests, and Presidents. And I believe, it's a season, so it's actually a series.
Oh, okay.
And it is out. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's relatively short. It looks like the
Is it on
episodes are about
Netflix?
17 minutes. It is on Netflix now.
All right.
That's Schultz Saves America. Andrew Schultz, man, so good. He's been really topical this year with all the COVID stuff. A lot of the he rips into Trump and Biden, which is cool because it's not like it's just one side.
Yeah, it's better
It's
when they
pretty
rip on. It's
fair.
like, yeah. you rip
Well, I
on
don't
both.
mind. Yeah, exactly. I don't mind though when you know they have that stance and that's what they do. But yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Because it's like at that point it kind of becomes more like propaganda. But you know what?
Yeah.
I never really look at shit as propaganda though. I feel like that's giving things too much power. Because you could argue this is propaganda. And whenever someone states their opinion, so that's the way I look at it, is like if you don't appreciate what they're talking about, just treat it like an opinion. Just brush it off.
And it's funny you say that because on one of my finals we had to do for one of my classes, they had to write an essay, and one was about, like current situations going on or things they're so interested.
Right.
I had two students actually write topics that unless you took you step aside or something, like they were afraid of being attacked or something for voicing their opinion. So when I was reading their essays, I was like, yeah, I don't agree with everything that you're writing, but I know where you're coming from. You explain it. It's not that it's not that I just feel this way about this thing, just which is like kind of like, okay, cool. And it gave them that idea, and I took it as an opinion. Like, I'm not gonna, like, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna like hate you because we don't agree on the same same ideas or same things. Like,
Well, that would make you a bad teacher as well.
yeah,
Because your job is to make sure he's doing his work right, not whether or not you agree with what he's saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got you.
So it was like, and at the same time, I'm like, hey, yeah, I don't agree with it, but that's cool. I'm like, other than that, very well constructed essay, argument. And yeah, dude, I'm like, I'm glad you felt comfortable to at least write this and share it with me.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times, like, I feel like some students won't write what they really feel.
Oh, definitely.
Afraid, obviously, if it was like something super offensive, or if it was something that kind of like goes against my own, like my own core values and stuff.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'll be like, nah, dude, you need to change this, or this is not gonna work out for
Right.
But other than that, it's just like, no, dude, just go ahead. Unless you go out here and try to tell me that the Holocaust never happened, and then I'm like, nah, dude, come on. Then you gotta go back to your history class and like,
yeah,
we gotta pay for a plane ticket so we can go and visit this concentration camps up in Europe.
But that's non-essential travel, Danny. Oh wait, is it? You can
don't know.
argue it
It's
is
historical.
essential because you could say the Jews are the chosen ones, and you could be like, why not me? And then you'll go there and you'll find out why.
It's essential because it's essential for me to teach this kid why America whooped that ass on World War II.
Damn right.
Damn.
But you're going there, and you're giving them revenue, Danny, and we don't need to put that in Europe's money pocket.
Those damn liberals.
Don't get me started on them libbies, Danny.
Those European libbies.
Actually, I've heard stories. They're a little out there. But
they're radical.
Out there.
Can I just say something else? Yeah. Every time I hear like politicians talk about radical left wing and radical Muslim and radical this and radical that, I always feel like they should be throwing one of these, like, oh, that's so radical, like the hang loose thing, because I'm still stuck with the radical. Like,
I think it'd be better if they just said rad then. The rad left?
Rad lefts.
Fucking rad lefts. No, dude, I like that because I already like shorthanding everything. So I think we just figured something out, dude.
Like those rad tears. No,
The
dude, but
red
every time I
tears.
hear like, yeah, but every time they say like radical Islam or radical left wing or something,
Yeah.
I'm just, if I was her, I'd be like, oh, radical, radical, throwing like the hang loose thing and just radical.
That's
But
smart though, because it could be like an ironic thing.
yeah, and I think I'm just like so stuck with like growing up in the '80s and like watching like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like
Yeah.
radical,
And the
So
surfer culture was really popular in the 90s and with our generation.
it's funny though because they always made the surfers like sound like potheads,
But I mean,
like super.
I mean they
Were they wrong?
exactly.
Were they wrong?
I mean, I don't know if they were doing taxes and then going surfing at night. You know what I mean? They're probably
Well,
just surfers.
if you see Point Break,
Oh
some
god.
were.
That is one of my favorite movies because I am a Swayze fanatic
I
and I
love
love
Swayze.
Keanu Reeves as well.
Same. And you have a very young, probably on heroin, Anthony Kiedis.
Oh, you were going a different way.
Oh, you thought I
He's
was
one
gonna
of the
go with
bank
Ted.
robbers.
Yeah, you thought I was gonna go with Ted. Who's
Yeah,
his name? Last name
Gary.
Ted. Yeah, Gary
Because
Busey.
it is very much Gary Busey's character is very much fucked in the head in that movie, but it is before his real life motorcycle accident when he really does become fucked in the head.
Yeah.
So it's if you've ever seen Point Break or the original Lethal Weapon, those are two movies where Gary Busey was pre-crazy Busey, which is what we know him as now, the guy who does all the weird words and his hair's all fucked up and his teeth seem like they got bigger, but
it's a side effect of drugs.
Everything else is shrinking, but your teeth are growing. You got John Elway disorder. But yeah, dude. So I don't know where that was going, but yeah. So I lost my train of thought. Threw enough wrenches in my own gears there.
Gary Busey with Lethal Weapon.
Yes, Point Break. You were talking about
Break.
Point Break.
Yeah.
Oh, surfers. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So some about 99.9.9999%. I threw a couple more decimals in there to make it non-logical number.
Yeah.
I'd say stereotypes are accurate.
Yeah. They hold.
If not, I was gonna say if you feel a little shaky, I'm more than welcome to hear some examples.
No, I think
that aren't accurate.
Stereotypes are, first off, that's what they are. The stereotypes, the generalizing, whole culture or generalizing a whole group of people based on a few examples. But nobody ever remembers the good guys. They all remember the bad guys, the ones that stand out. So even though stereotypes are bad, they kind of grow from some sort of truth.
But why are they? I got a question for you. Why do you think they're bad?
Well, some stereotypes are like based out of like racist ideologies and and stuff like that. And those ones I think they're bad and stuff. Like if you look at a lot of propaganda and news articles or even news cartoons from like the Reconstruction era from the United States, like post Civil War up till I want to say it's like 1870 or 1880s.
Yeah.
Before turn of the century, as laws were coming out to give ex-slaves, rights and stuff like that.
Right.
There was obviously not everybody was like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, let's give them all this stuff, especially in the South. So they were portrayed African Americans with this like very lazy kind of laid back kind of stuff, like, oh, they just want everything handed to them.
Right.
Or like they were always drawing with like very like animalish features and stuff like that. So I feel like in that case they're stereotyping this whole generation based on racist ideologies or racist remarks. So I mean that case I think it's still pretty bad.
Yeah,
but it's funny because like they're portraying them as lazy, this of course after Civil War, portraying them as lazy and shit. And I'm like, dude, didn't it just give you free labor for for 200 years? Like, can these people take like a week off? Without like getting all crazy. But again, that's just from my like historical perspective thing.
So I want to add some shit, and of course they're gonna be like, leave it to the white guy to throw this at it. And yeah, and you know what? Good, leave it to the white guy. You're damn right. So check this out. So my only
Headache.
thing is, when did complexion become a determination of you being a minority in this country or even in the world? Because Irish people are not a majority here.
Mm-hmm.
They were indentured servants. They were also, along with the Chinese, building the railroad with the black community, black slaves as
Yeah.
well. Regardless of whether you want to say they were treated better, they still were spit on by all the fucking other people too.
Yeah, they that one say they were treated
But that's what bugs me is
any
like
better, but yeah.
it's kind of like a pissing contest sometimes here in America.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I had it worse than you. No, 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 I had it worse than you. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like none of that is gonna fix anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's just like this whole. If you look at it like if a person was coming to you and they're like they had the same problem and they just kind of kept talking about it, but they never really seemed like they were taking steps to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a problem because you're complaining about a system not working or you're complaining about something not working for you. But regardless of whether you think it's your responsibility to change it, if you're not going to try and change it, then you're the problem, not the system.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we've learned through history, you know, you have to go against the grain sometimes to get shit to work,
Yeah.
you know? So that's my other thing. I know that was kind of a soapboxy
No.
point
And
of
no,
view,
and to
but
be and to be and I 100% agree with you. There's a lot of minority groups that were also stereotyped and also oppressed.
yeah,
The Irish, whenever if you go back and look at cartoons as they were coming because of the
potato
potato
famine.
famine, you'll see them. They're walking around with potatoes or like cabbage or something as if that's the only thing to eat. They're really dirty, raggedy with like the red hair and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and with like a million kids. And then of course, they were hated on not only because they were redheads and stuff like that, but they were also really hated because they were Catholics.
yeah,
And once the same thing once the Italians came over,
same
same thing
thing. Yeah,
they used to draw cartoons with them like they were like rats. They're literally rats invading the country. And same thing, like their alliance wasn't with the United States, their alliance was always with the Pope, with the Catholic religion, and you couldn't
right.
trust them because they were Catholics. I mean, look at JFK. He got so much shit because he was the first open cat or the first Catholic president in the United States. And
Dude,
this is like what, 1960s?
yeah. Do you know what's crazy about JFK? Like this tells you about the time because I'm not shitting on him. I like him too, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying like I don't know if he would have been he wouldn't have been overall as popular with the same groups of people now because that dude that dude that dude fucked a lot. Like
Oh
and not his wife and
no, he
a
was
lot
a
of,
sex addict.
but I'm not saying this isn't me shitting on him. I'm not doing that because I don't want to shit on a guy that's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Um I mean some people that will. But
Yeah.
like for him it's like no, dude. You know what? So many guys, I'm not saying I condone it for myself, but there's so many guys out there who do the same thing. You know what, dude? More power to you. Fuck it. Maybe she was cool with it. You know, no one
Yeah.
hears this story. I doubt it, but you know. Anyway, it was just crazy that guy got fucking laid so much. I mean, he was banging Marilyn Monroe. He was Eskimo fucking brothers with fucking Joe DiMaggio, and I don't know. That's crazy to me.
Well, that's what they say that the government killed off Mount. Oh, God, here I go walking into the conspiracy theories. Here we go. That's why they say that the United States killed Marilyn
Well,
Monroe because Marilyn
oh yeah,
was obviously sleeping with President John F. K. And they're afraid of loose lips, like talks and stuff like that. And then she also was dating
see
the
that makes
brother
more.
Robert
Yeah, that
Kennedy.
makes more sense to me. The whole loose lips thing, because
Mm-hmm.
they don't give a shit about what it looks like. They can
No,
twist it, and society then was more like women keep their mouth shut, men do what they want. So I definitely think it was what you just said. I think it was they were worried that because they were fucking each other, that what if he leaks something?
yeah, and this is 1960s, like
Yeah, so
the
this is
height
Cuban
of the
Missile Crisis,
yeah, Cuban Missile
Cold War.
Crisis, the invasion of the Bay of the Pigs,
Yeah,
Vietnam War is still, well, at the time it
Vietnam's
wasn't a
about
war,
to
but
kick off.
yeah, the Vietnam, whatever you want to call it, was going on. Um, and then you have all this new technology coming out, like with atomic bombs and stuff like that. This is like super, like high up there. And then of course, like the race to the moon, and so much things going on in that time period that Kennedy was
Do you want to know
president.
why people think he got killed? Like, not
The mafia.
know the real reason why they think he got killed?
Why?
I didn't. I've heard that one too. I like this one. I've looked this up. Everyone and anyone that's political, a high stance politically, that ever denounces the Federal Reserve and talks about ending it has been assassinated.
Mm.
Abraham Lincoln assassinated. JFK assassinated. Both of these guys were talking about how our infrastructure with our money in this country is completely flawed and corrupt, and how they wanted to end the Federal Reserve, and they were talking about it. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Also,
Yeah.
I heard an interesting thing. My buddy told me something interesting about Abraham Lincoln that I didn't know either. A lot of people are under the suspicion that he died after getting shot. But from what I was told, and I need to do a little more research, but
The story, yeah.
I heard he surgically had complications and he could have been saved. The doctor actually that was working on him, a lot of people think it was malpractice slash. People say that the guy was nervous and all that shit because of who he was, and rightly so. That could make
Yeah.
sense too, but I mean, malpractice wouldn't be all that hard.
Yeah.
If you're like, okay, look, he's still not dead. All right, yeah. You got to make sure he doesn't walk out of that fucking operating table.
Yeah.
That
That
I
you don't
mean,
know.
that doesn't seem that crazy to me, dude. Like, you just said it too. It's like if you know something you shouldn't know, then you're fucking you're marked for death, dude.
Yeah.
It's classic,
No.
classic story.
100%, dude. So I feel like yeah, the if you're afraid, I mean, what was it? Bill Burr said it once. Here we go back to Bill Burr. He once said in one of his podcasts, like he was reading some book, or going down the YouTube rabbit hole,
Uh huh.
and he was talking about how like all these people that worked in NASA and like with like investigating like space and astrology and stuff, like once they retire, like they die mysteriously, like they die really like
Yeah.
messed up ways. And so it was like this conspiracy that they know the government is too afraid of them knowing what they know, and rather than being so anxious
Yeah.
or having anxiety of the information being leaked, they just remove the problem.
Dude, the government needs to smoke some weed, man. No, but
Just take a puff, man.
I was gonna add and say, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. So that was a great ad. Um, back to you, Danny. What I was gonna say, it doesn't matter what I was gonna say. So I talked about my remedies,
Yeah.
at least for the time being, for my anxiety. What have you walk us through what you've been doing?
Was funny. It's funny because when the first time I convinced myself that the world was going to be better without me,
Right.
um big end of November, early December last year,
Mm-hmm.
um I remember taking a step back and I'm like, fuck, dude, I need help.
Mm-hmm.
Like I realized, like once you kind of like, I wouldn't say get out of that zone, but once you kind of like step back from the drastic decisions that you might do, I kind of step back. I'm like, dude, I need some fucking help. This isn't right. I knew that the way I was thinking and things I was saying and everything, I'm like, this isn't right. So I reached out to to seek some issues. And the first time I talked to my psychologist, same thing. They're like, okay, well, how you feeling? And I'm like, I remember just telling my doctor, I'm like, dude, I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired. And she was like, well, what are you tired of? I'm like, of everything. I'm like, I'm just tired all day, tired of night. I'm tired of feeling sick. I'm tired of like just being miserable. I'm tired of like feeling like I'm carrying like the weight on my shoulders and stuff. And I remember like the very first thing she told me was like, well, have you ever thought of like herbal remedies? Like, and she's like, maybe try edibles or something. Like maybe because I was telling her also how like I will wake up, dude. I will wake up the first thing in the morning and I'll just throw up.
Yeah.
Just throw up, dude. Same thing during work. Throughout the day, it was just like getting nauseous, and I had to go puke. and I thought it was like something wrong with me, like, well, some, medication wise or something. But no, I came to realize it was my depression, my anxiety, like so nervous and so nervous of disappointing people that I made myself sick,
Yeah.
literally. So she recommended me that. She recommended me some teas and stuff like that, and I think that was like my first step. And she also recommended meditation, and I think that was
Mhm.
like the first step. Also, I started to like meditate, kind of just sitting back and kind of just breathing. So whenever I feel anxiety now, like that's something I definitely do. I do a lot of like breathing techniques. I do a lot of like meditation, if you will. And same thing like you, man. Not the with the I don't even want to say substance,
You
but
can
like,
say it is.
no, but like with the weed or anything, no. I like to go out and just go for walks, man. They're so
Mhm.
like so therapeutical, especially like if you out there and you're seeing nature and you're getting some fresh air and like seeing
Yeah.
some,
Like a
you
brisk
know,
wind.
yeah. It's just like, yeah, that's very therapeutical because you're not really thinking about anything else. You're just so focused on what you're doing right now, which is like, okay, I gotta go climb this hill right now, or I'm gonna go down this hill. And oh shit, was that a was that an animal I just heard? And like, oh shit, where the fuck am I? Or do I make a left here or right here? So
Yeah. I
you're thinking of that.
should have brought that rape whistle.
Yeah. You're like, fuck, my calves are gonna kill me tomorrow right now.
Shouldn't have wore these
Um,
pumps.
or if you're a little fatty like I am, you're like, fuck, I'm still gonna hit up In and Out after this and get myself a milkshake or something. I'm like, fuck, I'm still gonna hit up that get myself a burrito and eat in the car.
Yeah, that all sounds
Um,
good.
so I that's how I've been dealing with a lot of my anxiety, which is still there. It's not, it's still there. It never goes, in my case, I feel like it never goes away. You just learn to control it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, but like breathing, walking, and honestly, man, just talking to people, man. Because like you
Mhm.
said,
That's a good point.
the whenever you look at, like, you can look at an alcoholic,
Mhm.
and sure, you might be addicted to alcohol, and you feel like you need alcohol in order to survive and stuff.
Right.
But once you get down to the core issues and stuff, it's mostly depression and it's mostly, stress and stuff. And that's like the coping mechanism. And it's rather than go and talk it or say or admit that you have a problem with this, I'd rather be seen as a drunk. Because
Yeah.
instead of taking, because once you go see a therapist and you work on yourself, you're going to put the blame on yourself.
Yeah.
So it's easier sometimes, very prideful to take not take the blame, but blame something else and be like, oh, the
Mhm.
reason I'm like this is because
Right.
I drink that. The
Yeah.
reason, the reason I feel like shit is because I snort it all up in up my nose or
Right.
whatever. So I feel like it's easier to put the blame on something else than put it on yourself. And I
Right.
think that's where, and then once you start breaking that down, you realize, okay, this is what really going on. I was using that as my coping mechanism. Now that I know
Exactly.
what is causing me depression, what is causing me
Mhm.
anxiety, what is causing me stress, and and from there it might be even worse because, as we know, alcoholism, sometimes leads to what schizophrenia leads to.
So does
Oh,
weed, according to that article.
well,
Psychosis. No, I know.
eh,
No,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if. Well, I don't know if it leads to. Does it lead to schizophrenia?
I'm not sure if alcohol does, but like definitely like heroin and meth and all like the harder
Well,
drugs.
I don't know. That's a little reefer madnessy for me.
Yeah,
How
but at the
much
same
heroin have you
time,
done and with all the alcohol you've drank? I haven't tried it once.
mm-hmm.
I get
I
what you're saying.
haven't.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah,
But I mean, you I feel like this, especially with hardcore drugs. You didn't start with mashed potatoes and move to something else. Like you were gonna get the heroin. You just
yeah,
maybe you weren't gonna do it that night. And but here's the thing: you were gonna try it because no one just says, "Oh, I tried it and I shouldn't have." I've
yeah.
never heard that. So
And I
you know,
mean,
you know,
to get to that level,
yeah,
you're really dedicating yourself because it's not like oh, okay. Oh, I just saw some dude, cook up his heroin on the spoon,
Yeah,
in the bathroom, and then he put in the
shot
nasty
it up.
looking needle, and he shot up between his toes.
Yeah,
Like, they're like, oh yeah, that looks like a fun drug. I want to do
exactly.
that.
No, I
Like,
100% agree with you. There's
yeah,
never been an appeal for me for that.
yeah,
Um, and I'm so scared of opiates to the point where even in pill form, because
yeah,
I mean, dude,
yeah.
I don't fuck with pills. I don't fuck with. I may
Yeah.
be a psychopath with my cannabis and
Mm-hmm.
with shrooms and
Yeah.
drinking sometimes, but I don't fuck with that nod stuff and
It
meth or
is crazy. And I think that's like my biggest fear also when I started seeing a psychologist.
yeah,
She's like, okay, do you want me to recommend you some like Prozac or something? And I'm like,
yeah,
no, no, I did not want to get there. Like, I did not want to go there.
fuck yeah,
Um, like, I'm like, that's just too the thing, Coop, is like, dude, I'm in my mid 30s. Obviously it's not the first time I felt this way, or
yeah,
that doubt this way. So I'm like, I need to learn how to like cope with it naturally.
yeah,
Because what if I don't, like, okay, let's say if this will continue and then I'll continue feeling this way like today, Coop, like I cannot just go and see a therapist no more. I can't go to like a room and talk to a person because of the whole,
right,
the world we live in right now. I'm like, down the line, 10 years, 20 years, what if I don't have access to um doctors with good insurance like that to cover for me? Like, it's either, am I going to pay $300 to go talk to somebody, or am I going to put that from the table for my family or something?
right.
So it's things that you need to learn how to deal with. And it's
Mhm.
kind of, it might be that machismo masculinity thing where like, no, I want to fix this myself. Why go
I don't think that's
Mhm.
machismo because I feel like even women have that, and
Mhm.
it's not even like a male female thing. I think it's more of an individual thing, and I think there's a reason you want to change, and you because this is the thing, man. Like change is not easy, but if you're the
No.
catalyst for your own change and you can do it, then that's an achievement, and then that's also a stepping stone towards bettering yourself and probably getting out of what you're talking about. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the only true way to get out of it is 100% to do it yourself. I don't think it's machismo. I think it's you are a mature person to realize like I don't need these 4 steps. I know already. I already know it starts with me, ends with me.
Mhm.
So if I can't discipline myself,
Yeah.
you're still dependent, and that's the whole point of depression. You're dependent on something. You're
Yeah,
dependent.
and Cooper, you gotta remember, us as a human race, as humans,
Mhm.
we're so comfortable with, we prefer what's familiar to us. It's so hard
Exactly.
for us to break a habit.
Hmm.
That's just why we're drawn to nostalgia, because it reminds us,
Yeah,
it
it's
comforts us
comfort.
knowing, yeah,
Exactly.
it's comfort.
Hmm.
So we'd rather stick with that. I just yesterday I tweeted about being pissed off because Snapchat did an update, and I was like a freaking boomer, like, what the fuck, what's going on? So I'm like, here I am, getting pissed off over an update, like, oh, I wish I was like
Yeah.
the old days,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm like,
Old
it's just,
days like 6 weeks ago.
yeah,
Before the
and that's just
update.
because, yeah, like, what the fuck is this? Um, I think we're creatures of habits, and
Yeah.
we prefer what's comfortably, and it's really hard to break that cycle. And if you think about it, man, the way we live our life is because of habits, man. Like,
Hmm.
it's been scientifically proven that when we look for a partner, is mostly a person that kind of reminds us of our parents. In our case, since we're both heterosexual men, we usually tend to be more connected with somebody that reminds us of our mother.
Yeah. It's like
You
a
know,
Freudian thing, right?
yeah, and I'm not talking like, oh, it looks exactly like your mom, or you want to
Right.
go
You
bathe
just
with your
mean
mom.
personality or
Yeah,
vibe or
personality, the
something like,
characteristics.
yeah.
And the flip side, same thing for like the female race. They look for somebody, heterosexual females. They they tend to get somebody that looks like their father. And then even on that, like, then if you go into even further, like, if you grew up with a broken home, with a
Right.
father not being there, a father figure not being there, you're most likely to do the same thing because this was familiar with you. This was comforting for you, and it's hard to kind of break that.
Yeah.
that habit.
So I think it could go two ways. Most of the time, I think it goes like what you're saying. Like most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably going to recreate the problems that they only know. But
Yeah.
then I also think there's the flip side where a lot of the times they can't they can either right the wrong or the other extreme I was going to say is they overcompensate.
Yeah.
So your dad neglected you. Well, you're a fucking overbearing parent now because
Yeah.
you want for your kids the opposite of what you have. Well, they didn't need the opposite. They just needed a little more nurturing.
Yeah.
But us as kids, we're always trying to do better than no matter how prideful you are of your parents. The
Mm-hmm.
goal is always to be better than them because you
Yeah.
always want to be the best you can be. And if you
Mm-hmm.
want to be better than someone that's the best, then you're obviously going to be good enough or better, right? So it's nothing personal, but it's always like I want to do better than they did, and it's like I said, it's not always a shot at them,
Yeah.
but that's what we want from our kids. I want my kids to say the same thing. Like it should be like you know how things that we say things trickle down.
Yeah.
Well, this should build you up, and that's why I think some of these families not only have so much support and are built so well, but I mean this kind of goes into the whole generational wealth. Is
Mm-hmm.
you know they started poor, but they worked their asses off. Then the next generation did the same thing, and then if you save money, you keep going. Well, eventually you got this empire, that
Mm-hmm.
started from like it's like any success story. It started in a
Yeah.
garage, so
Yeah.
same with family, dude. Like I think that's our battle is with ourselves and our demons, and it's whether or not it's how we can fix it. And I feel like we're all guilty of it. Like you don't want to be your parents, you don't want to be the faults of your parents,
Mm-hmm.
but you also don't want to overcompensate either, right?
Yeah.
So that's that whole balance thing with it's a fucking pain in the ass, and that's when you're like, oh yeah, that's probably what my parents were dealing with.
Yeah. And I mean, we self reflect a lot. You said it earlier today, Coop, that you self reflect. I self reflect also a lot. So sometimes while we're trying to give our children the best,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe I'm speaking out of line because I'm not a parent or
Nah,
something.
but
So
go ahead, man. It
please
doesn't
correct me
matter.
if I am. Sometimes because we're trying to overcome, to do better than what our parents did and give our children like things that we didn't have, we don't stop and think, is this what my children want?
No, dude,
That
that is probably one of the most valuable. That's what. See, don't listen to that negative bullshit in your mind. That's like, well, I'm not a parent. It doesn't fucking matter. Not everyone knows how to drive a fucking rocket ship, but they know it goes to the fucking. Well, maybe it doesn't go to the moon, but
what was it? Okay, this is gonna sound dumb,
no, go
and
for it.
by all means, I'm not trying to tell you go watch this movie,
Fuck yeah,
but I know you've seen Drumline at least once in
dude.
your life.
Okay, no, I haven't.
No, okay.
I know
Then,
it's Nick
go see
Cannon
Drumline.
in a
Oh yeah,
marching band. I'm
yes.
familiar with it, but I have not seen it.
Okay, maybe you do want to see it at least
Okay,
once in your life.
you're telling
Okay,
me it's worth checking out.
if it is like on Netflix, Hulu, if it's for free,
Okay, sell it.
no
I'm.
commercials.
You don't need to be Cutco about it, but sell me on Drumline a little bit. Like what? Where was this? What's the significance? I want to know.
Okay, so there's this scene. The main character, Nick Cannon's main character, pretty much he got kicked out from his own drumline because he lied in his application saying that he knew how to read music, which
Ah,
I have no idea how to read music, but
right.
whatever. So he's like, fuck this, I'm gonna go with the rivals, with the other college.
Uh huh.
And he goes up to the music director and he goes, hey, blah blah blah. He's like, hey, you know I'm thinking about transferring over. Will be a spot. And the guy's like, hell yeah, there'll be a spot. You're talented, blah blah. And then he goes, well, I just want to be upfront. Nick Cannon's character goes, I want to be upfront with you. I don't know how to read music. So I hope that's not a problem. And the music director goes, that's cool, baby. He's like, a lot of people don't know how toilets work, but they know how to use it. And I thought that was a great thing. Like, yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have to know how the freaking toilet works, but goddamn, as long as you know how to use it, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, you know what I was gonna say was
What?
I was gonna make a dick joke, not a
Go
literal
ahead.
dick joke, but it was just gonna be funny. They're like, he's like, yeah, I don't know how to read music, and they're like, that's okay. You're just gonna be on the front of our catalog anyway.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we need a little diversity. It's okay. Actually, you can't read. That's perfect.
Well,
That's a sob
this is
story, and we can
they're
actually get
both
some.
all black colleges.
Okay, never
What he
mind.
does. in the
So he's
South.
like, they're like, no. Actually, you know what? So now with the flip side, so how does that work? So do they look for white kids to throw in there?
No, it's funny because they do have like one white kid goes to
That's
like
what I mean. So you gotta.
Morehouse
So
College or something.
what I want to know. This is what we got to figure out socially. Who is the token race in an all black school? Because in most schools, the token races are usually those that are very much the minority. Which in the Bay for us was pretty much the black kids.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
were they definitely had the lowest total. I mean, if I took a
So
census in MP, they definitely were the minority.
so I'm thinking if you go to an historically all black college, I'm
Yeah.
assuming this is in the South because
Uh,
that's where all these historical colleges are mostly located at.
yeah, or kind of East Coast-ish, maybe.
Yeah.
Because isn't there one in
Um
like Maryland too?
Maryland, Georgia,
Yeah.
Carolinas,
Right.
pretty much were ex states where slavery was big during the Reconstruction era again.
Right.
During Reconstruction era, they started building these schools for ex slaves, and they became historically black.
And then prestigious,
So,
some of them.
huh?
And some
Oh
of them
yeah.
are prestigious.
Oh hell yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Super prestigious. So I'm thinking, okay, South, who's the token race to go into this historical black colleges? And I mean, of
Tough
course, I
one.
want to say the white guys.
But
I'm
I
gonna
don't
go with
think so.
Asians.
I
I'm gonna
think you're
go with
right.
Asians.
I think you're right, dude, because I feel like, especially in the South, it's mostly white and black people.
Yeah,
So on the West Coast here, we're kind of like, this is not, it's diverse, but it's predominantly Hispanic and Asian out here.
yeah, yeah.
Predominantly. There's a lot of white people, but that's mostly what it is. I'd
And
say
then if
Asian, white, and Hispanic in Cali.
yeah, and then if you're like us from the Bay Area, oh, you throw in some South Asians up in that mix,
Oh,
or
dude, you got
even like
like
Middle
so many
Eastern.
Vietnamese.
Oh, I was referring to like people from India and like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Pakistan and like Middle East and stuff. You sprinkle some of those in there.
yeah, pretty much, dude, especially with the tech boom,
Yeah,
which pretty much is, I think that bubble's about to pop.
absolutely. Can't
We-
wait.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be traffic's gonna get a lot better. Yeah, no, economy's gonna fall even worse than with the pandemic. Yeah,
My commute 1 mile away from my house is going to be amazing again.
that's true.
Even though it's always
You won't
like 10
have
minutes.
to leave though. So
Yeah, we're
your
good.
pointless commute. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still probably gonna have to commute. I'm essential for the time being. We'll see, but
Are you next in line to get shot? Essential though.
no.
Okay. Because apparently I am, and I'm like, well, not me myself, but like teachers are like, they're up there like the top 5 to get shots. Pretty soon.
Oh, dude,
Um,
yeah, no, I'm
and
not.
I'm like, nah, dude.
What's your
Like, yeah, I'll
feeling?
take the shot.
What's your feeling
I'll
on
take,
that, Danny?
I mean, I'll take it,
Right.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, do I really want to go back and teach in the classroom? That's what I don't want, Coop.
Well, so what I don't
Being
want
lazy. Yeah.
is I don't want people taking this shit before they know what's happening. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to my buddy too. I mean, Michael, he drives bus and he's going to have to take it too probably once it comes out. But I'm just like, dude, just be careful.
Oh, yeah, I know Michael. Michael's a great guy.
Yeah, no, he's a really good guy. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, I mean, because I don't want to get into this whole thing of how I feel because
Yeah.
it's pointless. But
That's
I
a
just
different
want,
podcast. Yeah.
yeah, completely, like 7 of them. But
Yeah.
I just want people to kind of just wait a little.
Yeah.
Because I mean, everyone's got to make their own choices, but I just want all my friends and my family just wait a little bit. Let's see what happens because we really don't know what this thing is and we don't know how it's going to affect us. They tell us on a
Yeah.
general scale what things have happened. Dude, what do they tested 60 people? I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Vaccines take years to perfect and they're not even perfect. I mean, the only vaccines that are even good right now are like polio and like was the one DAP, PDAP or whatever. So I'm just like, and those fucking diseases are so fucking old.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, we still have asthma, we still have cancer, we still have all these things like flu. The vaccine for the flu the flu mutates every fucking 6 weeks. So
Yeah.
there's a million vaccines for that every year that
Yeah.
sometimes work, sometimes don't.
But tuberculosis, not a lot of people are dying of tuberculosis anymore. But
Yeah,
that's
what's
still
I mean,
something.
old as fuck. You know, there's some of these like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's cowboy shit. I mean,
Yeah.
Doc Holliday had tuberculosis. You know, so I'm
Yeah.
just saying like, you know, and polio was what fucking FDR. I mean, old
Coop,
shit. Yeah,
just because you brought
we can
Doc
drop.
Holliday.
We can
Hold
talk
on one
about
second.
Tombstone.
Oh god damn it! How amazing is that fucking movie?
It's one of my favorite movies, and it's funny.
Amazing.
I don't think we've ever talked about Tombstone.
No,
It is
because
one.
I think it's because it's unwritten rule that it is a fucking amazing movie, and what is there to bash on? If anything,
Oh,
is
if anyone
like
bashes that, I think I'm just gonna have to bash them.
it's like
You know?
if you have enough evidence to bash on Tombstone, I want to hear it.
Yeah, I
I
want to
want to
hear
hear
it. I
it,
want you to bring it to me, and then I'll burn it right in front of you
and then I'd be
because it
like,
shouldn't exist.
either I'll agree with you or turn it off after 5 minutes and be like, nope, this is bullshit. Anyways, well, this one time, me and a couple of my buddies from Hollister were like, "Oh, let's play this game. Let's take a shot, a whiskey shot. Anytime something badass happens on Tombstone."
Jesus
Long story
Christ.
short, we were drunk like within 30 minutes.
Well, dude, especially with Doc. Okay, so Kurt Russell, obviously
Yes.
Kurt Russell and
Bill Paxton, Batman.
yeah, he's pretty good.
Bill-
But I was gonna say, Kurt Russell and
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer
Yeah,
steal
there
the
you go, that's
movie.
super-
I mean,
Oh.
don't also. I mean, they steal the movie hands down. But dude, Sam Elliott was in it too.
Oh yeah,
He was one of the. He was one of the Earp brothers.
Yep.
Dude, that movie
Yeah.
is so fucking dope. Cause like, dude, Doc Holliday is like full on dying of tuberculosis. Doc Holliday. He's pale. He's coughing up blood, and he's motherfucking in his prime with guns, and he's still doing shit. He doesn't give a fuck, dude. And his interaction with Johnny Ringo in that movie when they both speak Latin, oh my God. See, you got to watch that movie with subtitles because, and I don't even know if the subtitles always help, but I've seen that movie so many times to the point where I've actually looked up what the Latin translation that they're talking about is, and it's some crazy shit where they're like, basically like, they're both very learned individuals, especially for that time.
Yeah.
Being educated, let alone understanding a dead language like Latin, unless you're like a religious person, wasn't very common.
Yeah.
And two guys technically that were outlaws knowing that is also kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like that whole Tupac Hail Mary thing, you know? It's like,
And
I'm an
then,
outlaw, but I love.
But like two outlaws, if you will, and separate ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Because Johnny Rango was like outlaw, part of Vaqueros, whatever, like gangster. Where Doc Holliday, like, yeah, he killed a person once or twice, but he was still he was like the anti-hero, still guy, if you will.
I mean, I feel like with Doc Holliday, yeah, like you said, he was the anti-hero. He wasn't really a good guy or a bad guy. He kind of lived by his own rules.
Yeah.
And but he wasn't like a tyrant like arguably some of these other guys you could say they were, definitely. But
yeah.
I mean, there's a couple lines in that movie,
Dude,
especially with Kurt Russell. I think, what does he say? He's you're gonna skin that. What do you say? You gonna pull that smoke wagon? He's all, because if you do, you better pull the trigger. And like, he's basically telling the guys, if you're gonna pull the gun on me, you better fucking kill me, because I'm gonna fucking kill you.
It'll kill you guys. No, for me, my favorite is I think Johnny Rango comes out after smoking like opium or something.
Yeah.
And he's like starting. I think he wants to start a fight with either, like, I'm not sure.
I think it was Doc Holliday. Oh no, you're right. You're right. It wasn't Doc Holliday.
Yeah. So, and I think like they pull a gun on him and they're about to do a shootout, and his buddy takes him away and goes, "He's just drunk. That's all that is. He's just drunk." And because Juan and I, my brother and I, will always, like, whenever we fuck up on something, and we're like, "Hey, he's just drunk. That's all that is."
He had his boys back because he knew he was gonna get fucking killed, dude.
Yeah.
But wasn't that guy's name? Was it Curly Bill? Right?
Yeah, I think so.
That was Curly Bill. I liked that guy's character, even though he was a kind of an asshole. He was somewhat of a likable outlaw, Curly Bill.
Oh,
I'm such a weirdo. I love some bad guys.
Was it Curly Bill or was it Rango who comes out trying to be like it's like a pissing contest with like Doc Holliday, and they're doing all the tricks with
no, that was Ringo.
Ringo, and
Hmm.
it's like woo woo,
He's and
like
then
he's saying
well,
those
he's
things.
spinning. Yeah, Johnny Ringo's spinning the gun,
Mm-hmm.
showing, and he is good with the gun, but he's showing everyone
Yeah,
he can spin it and all this shit. So what does Doc Holliday do just to fuck with him? Takes
just
his little
comes out.
tin cup and just
Yeah,
starts
woo.
flipping it
Yeah,
around, mocking him
yeah.
and shit, spinning it. Everyone's laughing. Even the gay actor dude that everyone wanted to
Yeah.
talk shit about was laughing and clapping.
I mean,
Dude, I've seen that movie so many times.
what else can you do? Like in that case, like, oh, look how badass I am too with this cup. It's just like, dude, okay, like
You
you
know,
know how to do that, but do you know how to like do something with that gun rather than spin it around?
you know what part really got to me in that movie too was the part where Bill Pullman, not Bill, Bill Paxton's character
Paxton, yeah,
is
yeah.
dying,
Mm-hmm.
and he's telling Kurt Russell, his brother, Wyatt Earp, he's saying like there ain't, he's all, I've seen it. He's all, there ain't no light at the end of that tunnel. It's just dark,
Mm-hmm.
and he dies in a really sad and scared way, and
Yeah,
that
and
that kind of reminded me a little bit of the whole um you know, you may not go to hell, but you might go to purgatory kind of thing, right? I don't know
yeah.
what people believe. I'm not super deep into Catholicism anymore. I mean, I humor it. I was raised a Catholic. I
Mm-hmm.
still pretty much kind of loosely follow the Catholic religion, I guess you could say, or
Yeah,
Christianity.
same.
But um, you know, that's the part that kind of creeps us all out, you know, is the purgatory aspect, which is like you ain't going to hell, but you got to fix your shit before you can get to the other place.
Yeah, you need to like
And the concept of
you're not
purgatory is
gonna
kind of
rest.
scary.
Yeah, because you're the Walking
You're
Dead. You know,
basically, well, yeah, and you're basically in jail. So
yeah.
like from because I learned I learned more about purgatory from watching Sopranos. So um, but one of the guys was like, he made a joke. He's like, you know, you got your carnal, I think your mortal sins, and then your carnal sins or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's all, you multiply that by something, something, something. And then he goes, yeah, so basically I'm going to do about 60,000 years in purgatory. He's all, but compared to an eternity, a sentence for eternity, that ain't shit. So it'll go quick. But it's just,
Yeah.
you know, like that whole aspect of, you know, you can't move on to the next beautiful part. But that's what freaked me out about that movie was that guy didn't even seem like a bad person.
No, it was
And
just
he was still freaked out and worried, you know, that he wasn't going to go to where he wanted to go,
mm-hmm.
and that's I think that's everyone's fear in
Well, if you
death.
think about it, I mean, not to get religious or anything, but
Yeah,
here we go. Let's break it down. I mean, obviously that character killed a lot of people in his time. I'm
right,
pretty sure he didn't go to church, and you know, it's one of the 10 commandments. You like, you know, thou shalt not kill. You
right,
know, like, so obviously he knows shit. I haven't repented for my sins. I'm about to die any second now. There's no fucking priest around me to, you know, give me my final rights or anything like that.
right,
So he knows, like in the ways like fuck, I'm, you know, all those people who I have killed, who have died under my gun, you know, they're gonna get their, you know, they're gonna get their day now, or I might
right.
run into him one more time. So yeah, I know. And the if I believe, that's like they're like in the bar or something, right? And they kind of place him on top um of a pool table, right? Or it's the top of the bar when he's like dying.
Um, I think yeah, I think he was on the pool table.
Yeah, because I remember he got shot and he's like, "No, I'm dead."
Because
And
they're
also
gonna try and get, yeah, they were gonna try and help him, but
Mac
he
or
was all like,
something.
I'm done.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. What a freaking
But dude, like,
great movie.
what a badass like generation of men and
Yeah.
women, but just
Yeah.
people in general. They had to be hardened individuals.
Well, it's because it's the whole highlight of it was during the whole Western expansion. So
Yeah, I
of
mean, what was the
course,
Wild
like
West?
that's why they called it Wild West.
I mean, there
Like
was
it
more
was,
people than law enforcement too. So I mean, good
yeah,
luck
like
keeping
no one
people in
was,
line.
you know, there was no governors. Yeah, at this point, there weren't even states; they were all territories. So it's kind of like
Well,
good
dude,
luck.
and yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, as much as people talk shit about the cops now, yeah, well, back then people could just go in your house, fucking rape your whole family, and get away with it. So I
Yeah,
don't know. Probably doesn't happen as often when the cops are here. But
just saying,
what do I know? I'm just a white
maybe.
guy that lives in America with my privileged bullshit. Don't listen to him with his
I
silver
mean, one
spoon.
one thing that you have to also remember when we talk about this is like that's your reality, that's your perspective.
Right.
So who am I to say no? You're wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's your truth. Like I can tell you all this shit about happened to me or my people, you
Mhm.
know, based on my color or the way I sound and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just like that's my truth. That's
Right.
my perspective. It's
And we
different
all
from
got
yours.
that.
Exactly.
But see, that's what helps me. Once we got older and we kind of learned, the whole like old adage, opinions are like assholes. It's so useful, but sometimes I got to remind myself because I'm a very emotional person, so
Mm-hmm.
I do react more than I should, But that's just how I am. So I'm working on it. But moving on here, I had an interesting idea that we should take some time and read some 1-star reviews from Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, 5-star reviews are great, but let's face it, people, we've reached a point where we're a little complacent about hitting those 5 stars. Did they really earn it? Are
Yeah.
are they
Exactly.
deserved, or are you just lazy and you want to move on and just do your bare minimum and just get
Yeah.
and
Or
help a guy
sometimes
out?
there's just they're bots. You know, they're
They're
people giving
bots.
themselves 5 stars. Yeah.
So we're going to showcase not only obviously some people that aren't bots, but also just the insanity and logic that goes behind these reviews. Because these are all items that I've already bought or we're just familiar with as people in general. So I'm probably going to I'll do a pretty good job of posting a visual aid for our YouTube video,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably a good point to make a note of where I need to place this stuff. But I'm not going to do that right now. So first review is Steph bought this book. I shouldn't say who because this is probably a Christmas gift.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is called The Big Book of Silly Jokes for Kids. Parentheses,
Mm-hmm.
Big Book of Silly Jokes for Kids series. Don't know why I read that, but now you know. So it says silly jokes for kids. It says 800 plus jokes. It's got a T-Rex sitting in like a table having tea with a teddy bear. I have not read this book. First review, 2 stars. So I already broke the rule of reading the 1-star review. The reason I'm reading this one is because of what it says.
Okay.
The subject of the review is some content may not be appropriate for all families. The jokes are cute. Some jokes include same-sex marriage. I really wish I had known that before gifting it. Consider whether or not you want to explain that to your kid before you purchase. Maybe it's mentioned in the other 2-star reviews, but Amazon has conveniently hidden it. They also conveniently left a picture of the expert, and it says Mr. P doesn't like to spend money, but his husband and daughter, see? So
Yeah.
it's funny. That's a good gray area, though.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't really have a problem with it. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's going to make your parenting job a little more involved, but I really don't think. I understand what people are saying. Now, if I have to try and explain same-sex marriage to a 3-year-old, I understand why that's a problem. But
Yeah.
that's you're over involving this situation too much because I don't know. I don't think a kid is going to be like, "Wait, did you say husband?"
Wait,
So
what?
it's
Yeah.
more. I feel like this is more of a problem that people have with the subject matter and they're using their kids as an excuse in a way
Yeah.
for their own ignorance. That's definitely what I'm getting off this. But this is a children's book. And yes, it says husband. Who cares? It's not like it says Ron buttfucked Dave and then they went to go
Yeah.
have burgers. Like,
Yeah.
who cares?
It's not like Bill was wearing the G
Yeah.
string at the gay pride parade.
Take out the anal
On
beads
the
before you.
Folsom.
Yeah, it's like, dude,
Yeah.
come on. But this is why I'm reading this. This is hilarious. This is how people think. Here's
Yeah.
another one, hidden agenda. Now these people are thinking this author is clearly trying to invoke gay marriage and plant that seed like it isn't already part of society. So hidden agenda. Most of the jokes were good. That's why I like. But there was one slipped in about a same-sex couple. I don't think this has any place in a children's book.
Mm-hmm.
Or or maybe it does. I mean, who's to say it doesn't? Who's to say that author shouldn't write that? I don't know. It's just odd to me that people really are that much dicks about it. This other review is a 1-star review for one. I have an electronic vaporizer. It's called a Puffco Peak. It's kind of like a dab rig, but I can do dabs without having to have a giant butane torch.
Yeah, I think you're
which
talking
is the
about
main
that.
stigma I don't want.
Yeah.
So I own this product. I bought it. I didn't buy it through Amazon, but I know about it. This guy got a 1-star review. It says defective. Should be 0 stars, not 1. Didn't work out of the box. Seems to be battery and possibly the atomizer, which is the thing that heats it up. But the thing that made me laugh says, unable to use. Have contacted the seller for refund or exchange. Very disappointed. I am very poor, and I worked a lot of overtime for this over the holidays. Now, this is why I like this review, because a poor person doesn't buy a $300 device to smoke not cheap weed concentrate. A poor person would buy shake or would buy a little pipe and would smoke weed out of it. So you're not poor. You're fake poor. And I don't, and to be honest with you, I want to see a birth certificate.
And I'm sorry, if you're using Amazon, you're not that poor.
Yeah, because that means you still are okay. Yeah, like you don't have to go to the store. You don't have to take 2 buses to go to the store.
Yeah, and if you have that Amazon Prime, you're not that poor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, so he doesn't. He pays for shipping because he's poor.
Oh
no, I'm just kidding. But
get
the fuck out of here.
A normal. Why don't you go back in my days? Why don't you go down to your local smoke shop and just buy one from there? I mean, again, maybe we're Californians, so we're thinking like, dude, you can just go down the street and just buy one rather than ordering from Amazon. But you know what? That's just me.
But see, that's the thing, and that's what I'm saying. That is privilege.
Yeah,
we are a privileged 100%. Society. We rely on DoorDash. We rely on Uber Eats. We rely on everyone else to do shit for us.
And that's the thing. Like with the previous review with the same-sex marriage,
yeah,
we see it and we're like, oh, okay. Oh,
right. we're exposed to it all the time, and
yeah, they're like, oh, they're including that in books now. Okay, cool. We think it's cool. Like,
but I mean, what was the context? Yeah. It didn't even elaborate on anything. All it said was husband, and it had the word Mr. and husband in the same sentence. And people are so up in arms about it.
Oh my God, how dare them promote same-sex marriage. And then using them as an example of a good, of a caring parent.
Yeah, and trying to disguise it like they're concerned. Right.
Yeah, trying to and disguise it as good parents to their daughter. Who's probably be better treated. And
how do you know your daughter's not gay?
Yeah.
How do you know your daughter's not a gay man inside a woman's body? And maybe she relates to Mr. P.
Maybe. No, we were I forgot what my cousin was telling me about this. They're watching TV, and on television they brought up, same-sex couple came out also.
Uh-huh.
And my cousin's daughter goes like, "Oh, are they are they married?
Yeah.
But they're same sex." And my cousin's like, "Oh shit, am I gonna have to like explain to him right now?" And then her daughter goes, "Oh, it's okay, mommy. Love is love." And then she carried on with her day, and she's like, "Dude, like she's 6. How the hell she knows the concept like, oh, love is love?" And I'm like, now they're the California school system is normalizing same-sex marriage because, let's be honest, it's common now. It's not as it's not as like, oh my God, same thing with like mixed race marriages and stuff. It's pretty common. So I'm not surprised when you see them on television, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Where's the Mexican? That's always my thing. Like, oh, how come they can put Mexican? Like, we're gay also. What the fuck?
Well, hold on though. Oh, never mind. He wasn't Mexican. I was gonna say Modern Family, but Chaz Palminteri is Italian.
Oh, but
and we talked about him last week.
But Sofia Vergara was there. She represents us all, the Latinx community, so she's good.
Dude, Ricky Martin's gay.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude.
Twins too.
Who doesn't want to live the La Vida Loca?
And now we know what he was talking about.
I wish there was a boy band called Pasole.
I
would have liked it more than Menudo.
I do.
That's like my shitty dad joke. You do too?
I got you.
Cool. Because I feel like Something was telling me in my heart of hearts that like legit, like Mexicanos like menudo more than pozole. But
Yeah.
I don't feel, I could be wrong. I just don't like the tripa so
Yeah, I
as
mean, I'm
much
gonna
in
be honest
there.
with
And, you
you.
know what I
I'm
mean?
gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
And if this gets my Mexican card revoked, so be it. Or my I'm sorry, my Latin X. No, I'm Mexican. I can say Mexican. My
No, you
Mexican.
can't.
No, Danny. As a white man, you cannot call yourself a
You're
Mexican. Um,
Hispanic.
yes.
Tell you what you are. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Tell me
Sorry.
what I am. Cool. No. Um. I don't like menudo.
Yeah.
Not a fan of it.
No.
I mean, I'll eat it if I have to. I'll eat it.
Yeah.
It's just same thing. I won't get like the tripas or like the
Uh-huh.
freaking stomach. Like,
Right.
just give me the corn thing, and
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
I'll eat that only. But
Exactly. And I don't like
that's
the liver either.
no, I
No.
hate liver. Period.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm not a big fan of pozole.
Wait, you're not a big fan of pozole either?
No,
Why you don't like the hominy or what?
no, it's fine. I just don't. I don't know. I'm
Is
not
is it
like
boring to
out.
you, or you guys didn't really have it a lot?
No, we had both of them. I
Yeah.
prefer pozole over menudo, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I'm not gonna like go ape shit because I have like family members. Like,
Yeah.
dude, my sister will like wake up at 6 in the morning, go over to my aunt's house if she knows that they're making menudo. She's like, "Oh, I'm fucking there."
Right.
6 o'clock in the morning, half asleep. She's like, "Oh," but eating their freaking menudo. And I'm like, fuck, I hate menudo. I hate it
Yeah.
when my parents make it because it stinks up the whole house. I hate,
Does
I
does
just don't.
Juan like it?
I don't think so. I don't think he likes it either. Like, I just don't like it. Again, I'll eat it. I'm not saying
Yeah.
like, ugh, I'll eat it, but I'm not like head over heels for it. It's nothing. It's not something I'll go out of my way.
So I can elaborate why I don't like it.
Yeah, go for it.
It's not even flavor. It's literally texture because if I am going to
Yeah,
eat tripas, it's got to be fried like how they do it for tacos. Because
yeah.
I can't do it when it's in a fucking liquid and that shit gets all soggy and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Fat when it's soggy is disgusting to me. I can't do it.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely. I think for me, it's 100% texture because I always like if I have bad experience with like a texture or something, I won't go back to it again.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the reasons why I hate hard-boiled eggs. Like the texture of it. It's
Oh,
just
the
like
white. It's kind of
yeah,
rubbery.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Same thing with like mayo. I hate mayo because of the texture because it's like that
You would be a
white.
terrible Caucasian.
Yeah, I would. Mayo would be too spicy for me.
No, now you're better because you're complaining. You just earned a little Caucasian points back. God damn it, Danny. Don't you know how this works?
This mayo is too
That is exactly
spicy.
what a white
I
person
need
would do.
a
Yeah.
1-star
Yeah.
review. I went to
Yeah.
his McDonald's
Oh
and the
my
mayo
God.
was
I need to
too
look up a
spicy.
1-star review of mayonnaise. No, you
While
know what?
you're
While I'm looking up this one,
here,
you
let me
look
share
up
one
you
with
look
you.
up a 1-star review of mayonnaise.
So I was looking up actually. So one of my favorite places to go eat here
Yeah.
in San Jose, California, it's called Mexican. It's the Mexico Bakery, Panaderia Mexico.
Okay.
You might have heard of them. Is the one closest to me is over here on Story Road, East San Jose, where the Home Depot is. It used to be.
Oh yeah, right by the Little
Marvin's.
Caesars kind of, right?
Yeah, right next to Little Caesars.
Yeah.
Legit right next to it. They have they have one of the best tortas ever. If you don't know what a torta is,
Ooh. Oh my
educate
God.
yourself.
It's a fucking
Google it.
sando.
Yeah. So this place, like I remember, super cheap. They have one called. They sell their milanesa, which is pretty much like
It's like country fried steak.
yeah, exactly, but
Yeah.
with like beef.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember a long time ago, I read and somebody left like a 2-star review or something. This place was like the most highly rated place in San Jose for like ever. Right now on Yelp is currently 4.5 stars with 999 reviews.
That's a really good rating considering how many
Yeah.
people.
4.5, not 100, almost 1,000 reviews, 999 reviews. I remember once like somebody was complaining that they put too much avocado. They're like, "Oh, it's a great place, but just the sandwiches are too big,
Dude,
too big." And I'm like, "You're really gonna complain because you're
don't eat it all, you fat
underpaying?
cow.
You're underpaying, like you're
Yeah.
underpaying. Like the sandwich is like $6 or $7, maybe
Yeah.
$8, and you're complaining because it has too much food."
Yeah, that's like a customer
fuck
being
outta
like,
here.
I'm not cool with this price point. This is way too low for me.
Yeah,
I should be paying more for this. I said no one ever. This is what I'm talking about, though. These 1-star people need to be taken out and publicly shot. I don't know.
Okay, I got one here.
Yeah.
This is on Yelp. This is Jennifer G from San Jose, California.
Hell yeah, Jen.
Oh yeah, what's up, Jen? Shout out to
Come
Jen.
on, girl. Let's hear it.
Give it up for Jen.
Give it up for yeah, like she's a stripper.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's give it up. Welcome to the stage, Jen from San Jose.
Say,
What do you have to
so let's
say?
treat her right, boys. Anyways, she's reviewed 45 things. I'm assuming that's what the star with 45 means. Anyways, she gave this place a 1 star.
Yeah.
And the good thing about one thing I'm like, oh, Amazon does great in hiding this. No, lady. No, I want to say the other word.
I know what you're gonna say.
You can literally there's some buttons there that says sort. You can sort and you can just highlight like if you do a little bit of effort, you can see all the 1 star and the 2 star rating. Anyways,
Yeah.
she went there on the 22nd of November. And that's another thing I like to do also. I like seeing like the best reviews, but I also like seeing when was the last time they got a negative review.
Right.
And the last time this place got a negative review was the 25th of November. So that's,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and especially, a grain of salt with these pandemic reviews, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So here she goes. She says, this place is the worst in customer service. I waited there for 10 minutes with no help. Then these idiots that work there told me I have to get in line.
Jesus. She's name calling.
People that got in line, okay, here you go. People that got in line are either ordering hot food from the menu or already have been helped to get their bakery goods, then in line waiting to pay. There was 2 women walked in and then another man after me. They didn't get in line by the cashiers. They walked up to the counter and spoke Spanish. They got their stuff, so did the other man. I was there before them and no one served me. There was no sign stating get in line for service either. If I'm the owner, I'll be firing all these idiots working there. Anyways, I was really looking for Pink Elephant. I was really looking for Pink Elephant Bakery on King Road. Okay, lady, that's King.
That's not even near it. That's over by fucking. That's over by the fucking golf course.
Yeah, lady.
That's over by fucking.
Lady. Oh my, lady. You got lost. You cannot tell. You Google it, bro. Like for the address.
Isn't what she's talking about right next to? It's right next to the drive-through taqueria.
Yeah, right next to Jalisco's.
Jalisco's. There we go.
Yeah,
good shit there.
Lady, you're like 2 miles away from each other.
She's a dumbass.
So you're a dumbass for not knowing how to use a map or how to Google a
story in capital, and she's talking about King and McLaughlin,
like,
almost.
What, 280?
Not McLaughlin. Yeah, like 280.
Yeah,
almost
over there by
Jackson, kind of
stadium. You're way lost, lady. Okay,
she's
let me
dumb.
continue with this.
Sorry.
I passed my Mexican bakery and decided to try it out. A very bad experience for me. It happened around 5:15 p.m. Lady, you're in rush hour. 5:15 p.m.
Exactly.
I finally found Pink Elephant on King Road. They make the best Mexican bakery goods. That place is way better for customer service too. I didn't have my cell with me to navigate to Pink Elephant. That's your bad, lady. Now I hope the owners realize customer service is important. Very lazy employees.
Now I learned that GPS is very important.
Lady.
What about bringing your phone with you? Clearly, she left. So if we could give her a review, here's the thing. She's complaining about something that is her fault.
Yeah.
She left her phone at home. Her fault,
not know
not
how
the restaurants.
She did not know if you're there waiting for 10 minutes and no one's helping you,
then leave.
Yeah, leave or go up to him like, excuse me, how does this work? It's my first time.
Just fucking leave.
It's your first time.
Or
they'll probably tell you, wait in line here. Because trust me, I go Mexican bakery all the time. What she's saying is a bunch of bullshit. You do not go up to the counter and start ordering your bread and then you pay for it.
No.
You make a line, and once you pay at the restaurant, and once you go up to the restaurant, say, hey, I want to order some bread. The lady is then going to be like, okay, she's going to bust out the big,
because how are you going to get it? They have to pick it for you.
Yeah, they pick it for you, and then they charge you up for it. And then maybe you order a torta or two, and you scarf that on your way home. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
once again, a timid woman who probably wasn't confident speaking Spanish and probably didn't even need to speak Spanish.
No, to be honest, like it's not going to be the best English. Yes, I'll admit that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the best English, but just they kind of understand, and they kind of understand too. So
Now, I'm not sticking up for Karen, but I have had some situations where I have dealt with some bullshit. Where it's funny. I've worked, I don't know. I think just on the way I look, sometimes Latinos assume I'm just like a I don't know, a San Ramon white guy, or just a stereotypical whitey. So I'll be like, "Hey, how's it going, man? What's up? How you doing?" And then they'll just straight up ignore me. Like one time, we had cement put in our backyard. And it was a Vietnamese contractor, and he hired like all Latino dudes. But anyway, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is I say, "Oh, yo, what's up, man? I was just being polite." And like the dude just straight up like blankly like looked at me, acknowledged that I said something, and walked away. So I was like, "Okay, you're a fucking asshole." And then part of me was like, "Well, maybe he doesn't speak English and he's just not confident with talking to me." So, okay, sure. Motherfucker, guess who he fucking talks to?
Who?
He speaks perfect English when Steph talks to him. So
Of
then
course.
I'm like, okay, leave it to the pervy motherfucking Latino to pretend like he doesn't speak English when the white guy's talking to him. But when my Filipino wife's out there, he's like, "Oh, yeah, no problem." Motherfucker.
He's freaking
That
number
shit fucking
one.
pisses me off, dude.
And then, of course, it doesn't help that Steph is a she's really
She's a
pretty.
good-looking woman. So you know
course.
this motherfucker's just like being a fucking perv. So I'm like, fuck you, dude. Whatever. It's not like I was trying to get some. Like I was just saying hi, dude. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't write a review though, so that's the difference between me and that bitch. Sorry, I used the
funny?
word.
As I was looking, also, I scrolled down a little bit more to see the other 1-star reviews.
Yeah.
And I just saw that some guy I went to high school with, his partner, his wife or something, wrote also a nasty review for this place, a 1-star review. And I'm like,
shoot from the hip, Danny. Is it a good one? Or is it just a 1-star? Because some 1-stars aren't that good.
I mean,
yeah,
it just sounds like a bitch fest. I'll admit, this person's name is also Jennifer.
Okay, so, Jen.
Jennifer's and the Mexican bakery just do not.
They're not. I think if your name's Jennifer, pick a different food. You know,
go to the Pink Elephant.
Maybe Mexican just isn't for you.
But I think this lady has it. Okay. Before I started saying about this review, we said that Mexican bakery is known for 2 things, which is their bakery, obviously it's in their name, and then their tortas, which is freaking humongous tortas. So this review was written on 9/29/2019. So this is a year ago. So this is like, dude, you have like years. You know what, dude? That Jennifer G, the one who was lost.
Yeah.
That was written November 22nd, 2019. That was written last year.
That was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Kind of makes... Okay, well, she didn't say she dined in, so makes sense.
Yeah. But, at the same time, looking at these reviews from like...
Most of these people, no one's been rating in 2020, huh?
No, there has been, but like the most recent 2021 was 11/25/2020, then 11/23/2020, 10/23/2020, 10/9/2020, and then it goes down to March.
Yeah.
And then Jennifer 11/22/2019, 2019, which was just read. And then the this one I'm about to read from September 29th, 2019. What a freaking 2019 was wild around those times. Anyways.
Yeah. Wasn't just us that had a weird year.
Yeah. It was everybody was going through it.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks. Anyways. She says, "I'm so upset. It took over 30 minutes for a quesadilla."
Okay,
the only reason I'm saying
why are you
quesadilla,
waiting? Yeah, exactly.
The only reason I'm saying quesadilla is because she spelled it with 1 L rather than 2 L's.
So she doesn't know about the Aya.
Yeah, so it's the quesadilla. And that's only because we realized that it has been 25 minutes since we ordered. The cashier
So it hasn't been 30.
The cashier never gave our order to the cook. It's completely unacceptable. Jennifer,
if you know this, once again, why didn't you say anything? If you know you're forgotten and you don't say anything, and then okay. But then principal, you're like, but it's the principal. Well, principal's not going to get your food to you, stupid. So say something, speak up, or get the fuck out of there. If I ordered a quesadilla and I'm waiting longer than 10 minutes, I'm gonna ask what's going on, and I'm just gonna be a bitch and get my money back and
Listen,
leave. The
listen.
fuck?
Once you're noticing that people after you are getting their order ready,
Yeah,
then you go up and be like, "Hey, can you
raise a
check up on my order?"
should be a red flag,
Yeah, that's when
and
you
it
start
shouldn't be
checking the
you
bill.
like I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna wait it out, and I'm gonna write a
No, they're
fucking review.
no,
That's so
and I mean,
stupid.
why would you go to a bakery to get a quesadilla in East San Jose?
Yeah,
There's
when
like
you could go almost anywhere,
Super T
or
is literally down the street.
or
There's like 500
you know
different
what you could
taco
do?
stops around the corner.
You can make some fucking quesadillas yourself because it only takes 3 ingredients: butter,
Cheese,
tortilla, and cheese. Stupid.
butter. I don't put butter in mine.
You
So
don't do
you just
butter?
no, you just razzle dazzle on
You
that
don't
one.
do a little butter? You can
Yeah.
step that fucking quesadilla game up, Danny. Come on.
Whew.
You don't
I'll
have to
do it.
bathe it, but just a little crispy, a little golden
This one
brown.
time, we're getting way off topic here, but this one time we had me and a bunch of my college buddies, we had like a Christmas thing.
Yeah.
And it became my friend goes like, "Oh, you guys want some quesadillas?" And we're like, "Okay, yeah, sure." She busts out a quesadilla maker. And I'm like,
What the fuck?
"Really, bro?
Like a panini
Really? Do
press
you
kind of
really
thing?
And it was like it looked like a George Foreman grill, but obviously without the thing, which
Uh,
is flat. And then you put it, and then they kind of didn't cut your quesadilla into four different things. They kind of just made it didn't cut into four different
oh,
like
perforated
pieces.
it.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Uh,
do you really fucking eat that? She's like, well, yeah, because then this, it cooks both of it, melts the cheese, and it tells you when it's ready because the light. And I'm like,
you know what you could do? You
you
could
go put
yeah,
in a
you
fucking
could flip it and then
flip it. Yeah.
when it's golden brown, you don't need a light. It's done.
Yeah. You're done.
Ooh.
Don't once it turns black, it's not good.
Woo.
It has that weird smell, it's burning. You don't want that.
Privilege.
Yeah. Don't put the heat on too high.
No, medium is
And
plenty good.
yeah, and make sure when you slice your cheese, it's not so thick.
Don't go too thick. If you can, go shredded.
Yeah, shred is the best way.
I go a little eclectic. I mean, I like using some. I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. Gouda. That's a good one. And then I just learned today that
Yeah.
Parmesan is actually a healthy cheese because since it's aged 2 years, it has a lower fat content, and it actually has healthy. Because since it's dairy, it has healthy flora for your gut health. I didn't know that about Parmesan.
I did not know that either.
Because
But then again, I was associated with that nasty smell.
well, you don't like Parmesan, Danny.
I'm not like head over heels about it.
But do you hate all, or do you just hate the Kraft grated Parmesan?
I think I hate that.
Okay.
The Kraft.
And you know what? You're
grated
okay to
shit.
hate that because in a way it is kind of, it's not fake, but it's basically ground up Parmesan. Because if you have nice, good Parmesan, if you go to a restaurant, it's shaved. If it is grated, it's grated from a block of cheese. I don't know how old the fucking powder. I'm with you, dude.
Yeah.
I grew up with it and I like it, but it's totally the American cheese of real Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, like I've definitely gone to like Trader Joe's and gotten like their nice block of like Parmesan cheese, and that shit was like, oh,
It's way
ooh,
different.
it's nice and yeah, absolutely. But that's what you get, man. I mean, it's kind of comparing a real Mexican restaurant to like Taco Bell.
Yeah. Doesn't really work. For chains, I'm going to say this real quick before we go into there. For chains, though, El Pollo Loco is pretty on point. The fucking chicken's really good.
Yeah, I like their...
And I got to say, like, as far as a fast food, like, chain that's not, like, an independent taqueria, I think it's pretty good. And it's probably as close to authentic as you're going to get for a fast food place. At least in my opinion. I don't know any fast food that's close to authentic Mexican. And I say this because I know
grilling the chicken right there.
Well, dude, it's good. The rice is good. The churros are good. I know it's a fucking fast food, but it's pretty good fast food.
Green sauce.
That green sauce is pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
they make good stuff, man.
I like getting their like the burrito. I like getting the chicken burrito there. Even if I feel like a little fat ass, maybe get myself a little grilled chicken taco, for
Oh,
like
dude.
$1 something. She's like, oh,
That stuff's
just a
pretty
quick little
good, dude.
appetizer.
It's pretty good for a little chain. So I'm gonna end with,
I will admit though.
yeah.
Oh, but
No.
before
You'll admit what?
I must admit though, I'm a big fan of Taco Bell. I love Taco
No,
Bell.
me too.
But I feel like you already knew that.
Well,
Okay,
I
okay,
know it
okay.
because I think we've eaten it together, and I think at
I'm
least
pretty
once.
sure we have fantasized about eating
I think
Taco Bell all the time.
I think we're
And then we
thinking
go,
about it
but
right
like,
now, and we're somewhat excited.
I'm like, chalupa sounds really bomb right
Oh,
now.
chalupa always sounds good. That fucking fried
Dude, and
shell is just so damn good.
right now they have that fucking like $10 like super big
Oh, chalupa box.
box of nachos. No,
Oh,
it's
the
like
box.
nachos. It's like
Yeah,
$10. Yeah, with like avocado and shit. It's like, oh fuck, that's with
dude.
the ground
Okay,
beef. I know it's
El
not
Pollo Loco's
Mexican food,
nachos
but
are really fucking good.
yes, yes,
That's one thing
yes.
that they really do well. Because they use, like a taqueria, they don't use, and I like the sauce, but they don't use the sauce. They use actual cheese. And sometimes I like that a
Mm-hmm.
little bit better.
Yeah.
Because it's not,
I
everything isn't all
love
soupy and soggy, you know?
from Taco Bell. I'm sorry, from Pollo Loco. I love their like tostada bowl thing they do
Oh, yeah, dude.
with like the bean and rice and
See?
like the
So
chunks of.
we're basically kindred spirits. We
We
typically like
are,
the same shit.
especially with food.
Especially when we don't,
It's just funny.
we didn't always know, like, and we kind of click, like Tombstone.
Yeah,
That's just who
it's
we
funny
are.
because every now and then I go to like Popeyes. I love Popeyes.
Yeah.
Every now and then I go Popeyes, and every time I'm there, I'll take a picture of me with the Popeyes, and then I'll text Ryan.
Yeah.
I'll text Ryan and be like, "Hey, no Popeyes never hurt nobody," and then he'll be like, "Fuck, now I want some." So like then like an hour later, I get a text message from him also at the same spot, be like, I'm gonna treat myself today, Danny.
Yeah.
No, I'm like good. So that's always our. It's funny. That's always our
Cool.
talk with each other. Just fast food. Like
Yeah.
which fast food place is like the best.
Fucking
So, I'm gonna get
McDonald's
some
is
Taco
probably
Bell
that
today.
fucking guy's favorite place. He loves his
Which place?
McDonald's. Ryan.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so last review,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I came up with an idea because I was like, remember I was telling you, I'm like,
Mhm.
it's part of it's the product. So I was thinking in my head, I'm like, what could I look up? And then first thing that came to my head was ultra thin Trojan condoms.
Oh,
The 1-star reviews on these are great. I mean, gold. We're ending on a good note here. You could definitely say I saved the best for last.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm very excited for this.
So not only is this is specifically, not only is it the Trojan Ultra Thins, but this is the value pack of 36. So, which makes me laugh because it says that with the review. So Gisela gave it a 1 star, and all she wrote was an unhappy face. What does that mean? So good. I'm just so happy because she had such a terrible time to write a review, but she didn't even have it. It was either so bad she couldn't say anything, or she's a psychopath.
Her disappointment was best summed up with a sad face emoji.
But it's funnier. It's even better because it's not an emoji. It's a sad face emoticon, which is a colon and the left parentheses. So it's not even an actual face. That's even better because then she made it, and then that was what she wrote, and then that's all she wrote.
Okay, so I have several questions with that review.
Oh, another thing to add to it real quick before you say that. 16 people found that helpful.
How many?
16.
16 people
1/6
with that.
people thought an unhappy face review was helpful. And what were you going to say?
What I want to know is, see, because I see that and I'm like, okay, what happened that didn't work out? Like, what was it?
Right.
So I'm thinking to myself, because that's what I do, I think. Okay. So either the review was bad because A, the partner was not good with it.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm assuming this is a female who wrote this.
Well, yeah, it's Gisela. I would assume so.
Okay.
I think that's a woman's name.
Yeah. or who knows,
Who
but
knows?
either this person had a bad sexual experience
Yeah.
with the partner with it.
Yeah.
Two, the didn't know how to put it on, so it ripped.
Right.
Either too big or too small. That's not I don't know.
Yeah.
Or what's the worst thing that can happen when you do not put a condom on?
Yeah. No. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And some of these are going to answer those questions. I got about 4 of them. This next
Okay.
one is a 1-star review from WSA59403991. I hope that's his phone number. It says 1 star. Subject: buy a thicker condom. These are ultra thins.
Yeah.
Already, we're dealing with a genius here. Once again, size 36 count. Okay, first condom out of the box broke during use. Period. Please invest in a higher quality rubber. Nothing wrong with the brand, but don't throw pleasure in front of safety. And to top off the broken condom, we still haven't found the top half of it.
Oh,
It's like, these reviews are amazing. Only 9 people found that helpful. How is it not more than the unhappy face?
I don't think that guy's being real though. You mean okay? Because I read that.
That means it's in his girl or whoever.
This person is bragging about the penis size.
Well,
bro,
they're not Magnum condoms, so I don't know. I don't know if he's bragging about his size. I broke a condom before. I'm not Lexington Steel.
Okay, but when you break them, do you break the top or because with me, I've noticed that it's been mostly like the bottom part where like you roll it down, you kind of like pull it by accident, and you kind of rip it.
Well, I don't have fingernails, so I don't know if I'm ripping it. But my problem was the top. It would, because what can happen is what I think. Well, what I think happens, because it's not like I had a microscope and a camera in there when I was doing things. But what I think happens is when you use a condom, sometimes maybe with the friction when things aren't moist enough,
yeah,
it might pinch and it tear because it's so thin.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a fucking condom scientist, but that's my guess.
Okay,
if I was going to back this guy up, if I was his lawyer, that's what I would say. This guy's name is Slevin. Might be a girl's name.
Okay.
1 star. Super not worth the order in my experience. So I'm not by any means huge. My member is around 6.5, 7 inches. By the way, that's not 7 inches is not that's you're already on the above average. So go fuck yourself.
Bro, come on.
I think this guy added a couple inches. He's probably lying, right?
Let's be real. He's probably a 4.5.
Yeah. My number is 6.
Okay,
guys are never honest. My number is around 6.5 to 7. What do you mean?
Wait, that's 3 numbers,
how do you not know that you're? How do you not know how big your dick is, dude? And hold on. So I got to keep rereading this because it's throwing me off. I'm gonna get through this. It's around 6.5 to 7 inches and around 5-inch girth.
Bro, you're giving us way too much info.
Yeah. I know.
You're basically just want like a tender.
This is what's great about it.
Okay, go.
5-inch girth. And these condoms literally barely fit, and during sex they came off inside of the person.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine the awkwardness that bestowed upon me. What? Why do you have to talk like Father Christmas all of a sudden? Maybe with an additional lube, it would be more of a pleasant experience, duh. But in all honesty, for me, things did not work out at all. I reckon it would be perfect to like a 5-inch penis or smaller, but that's pretty much it. That's his review.
So he's
63 people found that useful.
Oh, Coop.
Yeah.
If lubrication is an issue, you're not doing it right, bro.
Well,
but you know what? You know what?
That's true. But in his defense, latex dries you out.
Yes,
latex does dry you out.
But I was gonna say, but not everybody's exactly the same. Mm-hmm. Not everybody's exactly the same. Partner wise,
right?
So rather than knocking on the Trojans extra thin 36-pack condoms, invest in some some lubricant, bro.
But see, they don't know each other. I mean, realistically, if they're using condoms, they probably. aren't
Still,
married.
bro.
And I mean, they can, but I'm just saying, if
Yeah.
I was guessing, if I was going to put money on it, I would imagine they're dating.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like most people that are in it and involved, I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe. Personally, I fucking hate condoms. They're stupid. They serve no purpose.
Put some
You want
lubricant on it, bro.
yeah, you want to not have kids, go become a priest, all right?
It
I'm just
might be
kidding.
also
I'm just kidding.
That's just your Irish Catholic side.
Yeah, totally.
That's
Which
exactly what it is.
it's a Catholic thing because Irish, Italians, and Latinos, all large families, all very food-oriented people.
Oh yeah, and for some reason we're not fighting. We're just talking. That's one thing also we need to. Like whenever those group of those ethnic groups come
when they get
family
together,
wise, we're not fighting amongst each other. We're literally talking. You would know when we fight.
Exactly, and Steph doesn't get that, and I don't understand that because Filipinos are loud as fuck.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
thank you.
So I'm like, how are you going to tell me that you don't get how loud and obnoxious I am? You know, she's like, sometimes she'll be like, oh, it's too much. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm like I've seen how things get when freaking, Pacquiao comes out in the ring, dude. Okay. You don't need to look. We need to stop this. Let me be loud. Let me hang out. This is who I am. Stop trying to have me not be who I am. No, I'm just kidding.
It's funny, Coop, because I was thinking the same thing. Like, really? Steph is Filipino, and those people are pretty loud.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Especially when they're,
Especially if they're drinking that Lampinog.
Yep.
So last review that made me laugh. Very simple. From a guy named Kurt. I could say his last name, but I'm not going to.
No, that's a solid name, though.
Review. Subject, 1 star. He actually wrote out 1 star as his, even though he already put 1 star.
1 star. He wanted to emphasize.
He spelled it out, and he did spell it right. Review just says, had a kid, sad face.
I knew it.
Sad face. How many people will go on a record and just say, could you imagine if this guy's Facebook news feed said, had a kid, sad face?
Yeah.
Now, most people would think this guy's a monster.
Yeah, of course.
I want to pick his brain. I want to hear his side of the story. You know, not all kids are angels.
No.
So maybe he's got himself a little Damien. We don't know.
We
don't know.
Maybe he wasn't financially ready for this kid. And I was like, damn it. Now I got to go work 3 jobs.
Well, he was financially ready to buy a 36 count pack of these can-dams that didn't work.
You know how funny? Imagine. Okay, so for this Kirk guy, this is what I imagine back, because I like creating backstories for people.
Right.
He just started dating this person.
Mm-hmm.
He probably wasn't really, he just got off a very long, serious relationship. He was looking for rebound. He met this girl. She's probably not the most attractive, but not the most ugliest girl. She's just like, he was just gonna go do his thing.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna buy this 36 pack. Just gonna use it on her.
Right.
Once I'm done with the pack, kick her out.
Right.
Imagine if that was like the first condom, like the first night hooking up.
So it's funny you say that too, because I didn't save the review that I'm about to mention, but there was one review that said, I bought the 36 pack and it broke on me. The one of them broke on me, and I'm not going to use the other 35 because I'm scared. So I'm just like, maybe next time, buy the 3-pack.
Yeah, try it out first, bro. Go for the test drive.
How do you know you want 36?
Oh, this, yeah.
It's like, do you fuck that much? No, you don't. Stop bragging. He probably just got it to put in his bathroom so he could be like, yeah. Oh yeah, that. Oh no, yeah, just regular. That's my weekly. That's my weekly order from Amazon.
But like, if you're gonna try something out for the first time, a new product, you're not gonna go fucking Costco and get a freaking
do it.
Full of shit.
Do it in excess.
Yeah. Go buy. Get a 3-pack, get a 6-pack. Like
I've never tried this Crystal Pepsi, but I think I'm just gonna buy all of it.
Yeah.
Like, who says that?
Oh, Coke has a new formula. Well, might as well just get the whole 36-pack of it. I know, because I know I'm gonna love it.
Yeah, I just got paid. I'm just how much for the pallet? It's like what?
Yeah, fuck it. Like Coop, we both like beers, right?
Yeah.
And this is why we love going to like Bethmo and we like going to like Total Wines and stuff because you
Right.
can go and you get yourself the little 1 beers or 2 beers.
Yeah, the little crafts. Yeah.
Yeah, you get yourself this little taster. If you
Try it.
like one
Hmm.
specific beer, then you come back and you get the 6 pack or you get the four
Right.
pack. Um, so I went yesterday and I
Hmm.
saw that they had the Trooper one from Iron Maiden, which I
Right.
still fucking love. Great beer. Um, I saw that they had a tall can or they had like a regular can of it, and I'm
Right.
like, oh, I'm gonna buy a packer. I'm gonna buy like one or two.
Right.
But then I saw that they had also another one, which is like sake with like sake infused Japanese style beer.
Cool. Yeah.
Rather than getting the single pack, I got a 4 pack. They also had like an 8 pack or like a 12 pack. I'm like, no, I'm gonna get this 4 one first. If I,
Right.
I'm gonna drink one. If I like it, hey, I got 3 more. If not, then hey,
Just get rid of them or drink
get
it.
rid of them.
Yeah.
Pass the buck to a friend or two, or just toss it, save the can, toss it. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Now, am I gonna go get a freaking 24 pack of the Iron Maiden Japanese inspired beer that I never tried before? No, you never do when you try a new beer.
No, yeah. Not unless you're like treating yourself mood or something like that.
But even if I get like a 20, I feel like if I'm gonna get a 24 pack of a beer, it's because I already know how it tastes and I'm gonna enjoy all 24 packs of it, or all 24
Yeah, it's a
bottles.
tried and true. It's something it's something It's not just like on a whim,
Yeah,
winging it.
exactly.
You basically you're a smart man. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket,
No, that's
which I think is always a foolish thing to do.
it is absolutely 100%.
And in the case of these condoms, it sounds like you couldn't put any of your eggs in that basket because they kept breaking.
Hey. Apparently the basket was too small for the egg.
Yeah, maybe if you have a 5-inch basket, it'll work better.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm a size queen, but I'm a size queen.
I mean, if it's not this big, yeah,
Wait, was it the
it can
same
lick itself
person?
then.
It was that same dude also was like, nah, I'm not big, but let me describe to you how big my penis is. 6 inches, 7 inches, about 5 inches width. The vein, it has a
You're like he's also pretty good varicose vein. Like that's not a good vein. Those are the veins you get removed. I mean, not one of those. It's a healthy kind of like, so you watch those like wrestlers that kind of like roided a little and they had that vein
Yeah.
on their arm.
Yeah,
I got about 3 of those.
pretty decent sized testicles also. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I'm big, but they're about 4 inches circumference around them also.
One hangs about 3.5 inches lower than the other, but
But that's normal.
that is normal. My dad told me.
Yeah.
Camping trip.
When he showed me his and then I showed him mine.
And then that's when he said, that's why you sleep outside.
No, but apparently that is normal.
What, to have a dad that shows you his dick on a camping trip?
No, my dad never took me camping.
That's a great line. My dad never took me camping. That's the best. That's the best follow-up line. That's perfect.
No, like having one testicle lower than the other one. I mean, I'm gonna follow your lead. So you put some steps like.
I mean, dude, and here's the thing. This is not only just chapstick. This is KBLX chapstick.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys listen to 102.9, but I do.
I got, what is this?
It's kind of a menthol.
Sunshades. Cranberry tangerine.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
A PSB 15. So my
got
lips
a little
are nice.
So they don't get sunburnt. So the other thing, I'm gonna, because now we're on the chapstick subject. So, real quick, go-to for me. Classic go-to that I love, cherry chapstick.
Yeah.
Always love that one. One that works well, Carmex for me. Yeah. Like if I got some real fucked up lips, or if I'm going to be in the snow, I'm going to use that Carmex shit because it's like the Vicks vapor rub of fucking, which by the way, I would never put Vicks on my lips, but I'm making a point just because it's like mentholy and medicated. Oh, your lips immediately are like 10 times better.
Don't you ever hate that when you go to like the snow or like it's too cold and you're out there, you're like,
and then you can't. Are you a kind of person that licks your lips
all the time?
Yeah, me too. So immediately in that boat, or if it's super windy, then you have to be the guy that doesn't lick your lips. Because
Yeah.
nothing's worse than that fucking. Nothing is worse than severely chapped lips. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's fucked. It's
Yeah.
all
With
cracked and
me,
shit.
dude, the edge on my lips, they just get like
Ah,
super swollen, if you will, and they're just like
okay.
super red. Every now and then I'll get a little bit crack or something, but
Hmm.
by that point, it never gotten so bad. Like as soon as I start feeling it, kind of like the redness or like swollenness
Yeah.
around, I'm talking about like the outline of the lip.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I go looking for it. If I forgot it, then go down to 7-Eleven, pay the $3. I'd rather pay the $3 and throw that away or never use it again than suffering chaps, going through
Yeah.
that pain for the rest of the day or the week or something.
Yeah, dude, and it's like when you get older, there's like things that you care more about, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not like, you know, it's not like such a crazy thing, like lip
Yeah.
care, but like it is one of those things where now you're like when you're older, you're like, yeah, there's like certain things you're on point when you're older, and you're like, I gotta take care of things,
Yeah.
but it's uncomfortable, you're just being a responsible guy, and
Yeah.
people need to respect that,
You're older, you're wiser.
you know.
And yeah, sometimes it it's like those freaking Viagra commercials. They're really like, you're in the age of knowing how to do things yourself.
Right.
It's kind
So
of we're
jack
entering the
off.
age now. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the best was like this Viagra commercial. Like this dude's driving like a Mustang, like a 1966 Mustang, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And like I guess it overheats or something, so he
Right.
pulls up to the gas station. So now you live in the age of whatever. Pops up the hood, all the smoke comes out. He opens the radiator, all the smoke comes out, and I'm like, and then he goes inside. He buys himself a water bottle or something. He takes a sip, and then he
Right.
pours the rest of the water inside the radiator, and then he drives off. And I'm like, bruh, I'm not a mechanic by all means.
Right.
I don't know shit about cars.
Yeah.
My is very like I don't know. But if my daddy taught me something, which
Hmm.
is not a lot because he's not a mechanic himself, was if your car's overheating, don't you ever open that radiator cap.
Oh, because
Because
it's gonna kill. It's gonna be super hot, and the pressure.
yeah,
It's gonna
yeah, the
spray.
pressure and all of it. Okay,
Yeah.
second, if your car is overheated and there's smoke coming out from radiator, dummy, pendejo, don't throw in water while that's just still freaking
It's gonna
hot.
boil.
You have to, yeah, you
Yeah.
have to wait because all it's gonna do is it's gonna evaporate. Wait until it cools down. Don't put
And
water.
then put the
Put
water.
some,
But
yeah, put
yeah,
some
because yeah, exactly. Because here's the
antifreeze
thing:
or something.
anyone who knows anything, that water eventually is gonna overheat too.
Yeah,
Water is something. Water is almost like a very very temporary fix to a radiator. I
yeah.
mean, there's a reason you need radiator fluid. It has a higher boiling point.
Mm-hmm.
Water's is pretty fucking low. So
And same
yeah,
and vice versa. Like all our listeners up in the East Coast. I'm not sure if you have any listeners in the East Coast, but people in the East Coast,
yeah.
they'll tell you don't put water in the radiator. Where
Oh, it'll
right now they're going
freeze.
through a blizzard. It's gonna
Exactly.
freeze.
Low
Exactly.
boiling, low freezing point as well.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could say high freezing point. But yeah, compared to like other substances, like obviously, like you're saying, the radiator fluid has a low freezing point and a high boiling point.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for what you need it for. Like in the cold areas, it's not going to freeze, and then in the hot areas, it's not going to just evaporate and just not work at all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean that makes sense. We're about a week away from Christmas. This is going to come out on Monday.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I should roll
What
my
is Monday,
Christmas
the
sweater.
21st? But we are going to be into the 20s when this comes out on Monday, and we'll probably only be a few days away for Christmas. This is basically our pre-Christmas episode, even though
Yeah,
technically our next one will be our Christmas episode.
but it won't be released until.
Oh, and we actually are going to have to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
What day we're going to be able to do this. Wednesday's Christmas Eve. No, Thursday's Christmas Eve.
Thursday's Christmas Eve, and Friday is Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. We might have to change the day up. We'll see. We'll get scheduled. We'll talk to each other. We'll see what your
We'll have
plans
our
are.
agents. We'll have our personal assistants call each other so we can go ahead and figure that out.
I'll have Cheryl get in touch with you. Okay.
All right, and I'll tell Sheila also to call Cheryl.
Yeah,
We'll
and
schedule it.
but please remind Sheila that she talks a lot, and last time,
Oh, I'm just gonna send in an email form.
yeah,
That's the best way.
and just yeah, not all
Yeah,
caps, not all caps.
yeah, we're
She was
working
bad
on it.
about that last time.
We're working on it. She's a sweetheart.
She is, and we don't mean this to be condescending, but it's just sometimes it's just Sheila.
Yeah,
Step it up.
And I'm not gonna fire her because she's loyal. So, but goddamn it, Sheila. Yeah, I know what you mean.
That Sheila's loyal. No, but so, and on that note, you know what we're gonna do? Spotify we're gonna exclusively only release this podcast on Spotify this week. I will put up a YouTube video, but we're gonna end you with some Sheila by I forgot who the artist is. Maybe I should pull that up. Oh, Sheila. Yeah, so we're going to end with that song because why not? I just want to do a lead in. I'm not going to play the song right now, but it's Oh, Sheila by Ready for the World. There you go.
Okay.
So we're going to, you guys have a great weekend. Danny, thanks as always, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you and catching up.
Always, man. It's always this is awesome, man. I can't believe we're at the end of the year and
we made it, man. We started in August. We're more than halfway through December. Christmas is a week away. You know, hey, we made it, man. We made it this far. So let's see.
A year ago, I did not know I was going to be doing this right now.
Yeah, we probably weren't planning any of this out.
That was crazy, man.
I agree. I'm working on I'm going to be ordering some stickers for Tails, and we're going to kind of be doing the same thing I did with the other ones. So stay posted. I'll keep you guys in the loop, but I am exploring some sticker ideas, and once they're out and we got them, we'll let you guys know, and we'll start doing that whole thing. But yeah, man, until next week. But this week we leave you with Ready for the World with Oh Sheila. Stay classy and don't forget to wash your hands.